The 1998 World Superbike Championships, proudly brought to you by the Total Control Honda CBR 900RR Fireblade.
Hello, I'm Bill Woods. Welcome to round 5 of the 1998 Superbike World Championship, coming to you for the first time in the history of this series from Nürburgring in Germany. And coupled with that, we have a magnificent three-way battle for the title, so far at least. Let's have a look at the World Championship points. Troy Corser of Australia up at the front and very consistent. In fact, he's yet to win a race. He's had 4 second placings. Compared to Carl Fogarty, 7 points back with 2 victories. Haga from Japan has been up and down. He's had 3 wins, but a couple of poor results. And then we have Aaron Slight. Is he ever going to win a championship? More on that later. Keeley, who won just in the last round. Colin Edwards had a double the week before that. Kawasaki of Yanagawa next, with Peter Goddard on Suzuki still working out and developing that bike along with his teammate Jamie Whittam. That's been a little battle in itself between the teammates there, the young and the old, so to speak. Scott Russell on the Yamaha, Lavia there. Now, he's a guy who is really going places lately. Mark Willis of Australia, of course, on the strength of that first round at Phillip Island. Very well done, Mark. He's a talent to look for in the future. Going through the next slot down to Walker, making up the top 20. And that brings us up to round 5, where we're going to Germany. Let's have a look at where we are on the world stage. Nürburgring, 90 kilometres southwest of Cologne. It's a 2.8 kilometre circuit with no official Superbike lap record, of course, but 2 riders in this event have raced here before. Russell, who finished 4th on a Suzuki in the 1996 500cc German Grand Prix, and Keeley, who was 6th on a 500 Honda in 1988. Let's check out qualifying right now, and this is quite interesting. Don't know about this Superpole. Only 2 riders of the 16 who competed in Superpole actually bettered the times they recorded in official qualifying. Perhaps they should reserve this thing for just a point-getting exercise and let them start on the grid how they qualified officially. Corser was one of those riders who actually bettered his qualifying time. There you see the front row. Edwards, Lavia, as I said, going very, very well, and Keeley, of course, a victor in the previous round, as was Carl Fogarty, and in fact, Foggy was the other rider who actually bettered his qualifying time in that one-lap wonder they call Superpole. Aaron Slight on the Honda. Perhaps the Hondas will bounce back this week. It was very much a Ducati round previously. Then Yanagawa and Haga. Whittam, Russell, Hodgson, Goddard. We mentioned on RPM that Whittam, interestingly, qualified better than Goddard, but remember, it is Superpole. Goddard will probably race better, down to Petticini, of course, in 16th place. Quick trivia question for you. Aaron Slight, we keep saying he's always the bridesmaid and never the bride. He is yet to win a Superbike World Championship, but after how many years? I want to know, what was his debut year in the Superbike World Championship, and for which model was he riding? We'll find out pretty soon, of course, but right now let's go racing. Keith Ewan and Julian Ryder.
Look at the rain coming down here, Julian. It is absolutely chucking it down still, and John Reynolds in our studio made a good spot just a moment ago.
Yep.
Look at the thickness of the white line these guys have got across at the start. It is about 3 foot or more. Look at it. All
Wheel
that
spin
checkers.
city.
And that is going to be absolutely slippery as anything, and of course loads of wheel spin as if they've not got enough to contend with. As they come to the line then, we've got Corser on pole, Edwards alongside him on bike 45, 35 is Gregorio Lavia, and Pier Francesco Keeley there on bike number 7. That's the front row. This is going to be a hell of a difficult race. There's no doubt about it. And now, this place is renowned for chucking. Oh,
Delatang.
So Delatang. Oh.
Well, he joined Eckerold in the sandpit already.
Aaron Slight then won't have to worry about John Mark Delatang on this occasion. So then, the red lights are on green. We're ready for the first race of the Nürburgring. Away they go. Oh, wheel spin there. Sideways goes Corser. No problems though. Got good drive down to turn 1. This is a nightmare, this first turn.
Horrible turn.
It's a right-left flick through. Oh, look at that view. Brilliant. Absolutely
Is
brilliant.
that Yanagawa?
It looks like the Kawasaki that's gone in front as we wait to pick it up. It is number 4, Akira Yanagawa, who's come through from the second row. That is a superb start from the Japanese rider. Through he goes. 41's there, Hager. He's back in third place. 45 is Edwards in second place. 11 Corsa on the outside. Slights there. Fogarty goes through on bike number 2 as well. Something like 7th place.
The man who got the wheel spin, John Reynolds, was talking about Lavia. From 3rd on the grid, he went backwards on 35.
So we saw Hodgson go through on 5 as well as the back markers all slide through. Ooh, that was a bit close. I wouldn't want to be doing that on the first. Down the hill then, through the left-hander, and then you've got the hairpin at the bottom. Easy to fall down. I've seen synchronised high sides here before from 2 riders.
Keeley being one of them.
Absolutely, in a 500 Grand Prix, Julian's memory, as ever, is right up to spec. Up the hill then, to the left-hander. This is a superb track, I really like it.
It's horrible to watch on though, unless you're in front of a telly.
So there is Akira Yanagawa, 4 in front of 4 to 5, Colin Edwards. Then it's 11. Moving up
Lavia on the floor.
That is Lavia. Well, that is a disaster. I've got to say, I feel sorry for Lavia there.
Yeah.
Just give you some idea of how fast that is. It doesn't look a quick set of corners, but it's actually getting on for 3rd gear. And, well, I don't know where it is in this weather condition.
I think Lavia there, Keith, was trying to make up for that wheel spin John Reynolds was talking about.
Well, I mean, it's always a bit of a disaster trying to make it too early. We've got 21 laps, remember, to get this done in. But Lavia's out of it.
Edwards.
Here we go. Edwards leads. Colin Edwards leads. Akira Yanagawa 2nd. There is Pier Francesco Keeley.
That's Bontempi with him. So, well, you saw how quickly Edwards made the pace up on that Kawasaki into the first chicane.
Yeah, but we know Aaron Slight, as we look at Bontempi, we know Aaron Slight is a man that's very, very good in the wet, and I have the feeling he'll be settling in. He's back in 4th place at the moment on 111. Behind him is Hager, who's slipping back through the order now. Hager was in 3rd place a minute ago. On to the start and finish straight. It's taken them that long to get round.
That's amazing. And Hager, again, not showing well on tracks he hasn't had the extra qualifying on,
Wow.
and the extra testing on, but I'm not surprised.
No, neither am I, actually, in these weather conditions. Edwards, Yanagawa, Corsa and Slight, that's your top 4. There's Keeley going through next up.
Wait for him to go up.
Yeah, and there is Bontempi. Well, Bontempi's had a bit of a mixed season so far. Hager, Keeley,
Again.
Bontempi and Whittam, that's your next 4. Down to 8th place. Whittam 6.3 seconds behind Mark Dramini Russell. And there is Fogarty in 12th. 7.2 seconds off the lead. That is a disaster for him. Hodgson down in 14th place. That's a disaster for him. So, looks like the race at the front. Hager was taking a good long look at it then. There's Bontempi. There is Bontempi. We are halfway round lap 2 of 21 laps. There is Whittam going. That was Goddard actually going.
It was indeed, Keith.
On bike number 8. But look at Colin Edwards. Well, a double at Monza. Interesting point you made during the evening session, I've got to say, Julian, or I won't say any more than that, was that Aaron Slight, remarkably, and I hadn't thought of it either, has never done a double on the Honda.
No, he's never done a double in World Superbike Championship racing, Keith.
Well,
he has won.
Imagine how much that annoys him with Colin Edwards doing a double at Monza.
Aaron has only won 8 races in his World Superbike.
Edwards there, sideways on, I'm out of my seat. I can't believe I saw that. Colin Edwards, do I like that man? He does make me smile.
He's really got to grips with his Honda, so the crew tell us, quicker than anybody's ever got to grips with the RC45.
There he is, 45 leads, 4 is Akira Yanagawa, 11 is Corsa, 111 is Slight. And Aaron Slight doesn't seem to be making the kind of, ground up that I would have expected him to. Then it's Hager who's gone back in front of Keeley. So 7 Keeley, I think he had a brief time in front of Hager, but Hager seems to sort him out again.
Looking at those speed traps. No Edwards on that. I assume he went through before they switched it on.
An assumption we can only speculate about. Look at how upright they are out of this corner. Just goes to show how little grip there is there as they ask for the power down this front straight. That tight little right-hander onto the straight there. And then his horrible right-left flick off of it.
Downhill as well.
Well, it's not so bad, I suppose, when you're on your own, but when there's a whole melee of riders trying to get in there. Hager's back on it again. Hager is making that move. He's the Dunlop shot man, of course, out of this lot. So Dunlop's... Well, it's been said this year that there's Edwards fast. That answers that he's going fairly quickly.
It does really, doesn't it? Yes. The fact he's in front's a clue as well.
Yes, that's probably got something to do with it. Even we can pick that up. But talking to the Michelin men, Michelin seem to have good wet tyres this year, whereas I always used to remember it was Dunlop that were the guys that were quickest in the wet. But certainly this Dunlop man is beginning to get his breath back, I think, after that blitzing first couple of laps.
Yeah, he's gone to and fro a bit, hasn't he? He's overtaken a few and being overtaken back straight away, mainly by Aaron Slight.
This is a tricky corner. Very, very difficult indeed. Middle of it goes on forever. It's a real 180 degrees. Colin Edwards is going on forever. Look at him. Good ride from Akira Yanagawa.
Yes.
Not enough's been said about him yet in this commentary.
Yes, you look at what he's done this season. 5th, 16th, fell 6th. 13th, 7th. That is not what you'd expected on his form at the end of last year.
No, very sick, I should say, the way he's been this year. Not at all happy with it. But the Kawasaki and Neil Hodgson miles further back his teammate. So Neil again struggling a little bit with the conditions. There is Keeley, number 7.
And when Neil qualified well, he went well in the wet at Albacete last time out.
Talking to men that are getting stuck at the moment, of course, Carl Fogarty in the first race in Albacete, well, he was really a disaster, wasn't he? Down in 12th place or something ridiculous.
He ended up 9th.
Yeah, and he was talking about getting a P45. That's an unemployment form in Great Britain, for those of you listening outside of it. And he managed to make amends in the second race. Well, I should think they're readying the P45 again after this performance so far. He really is struggling, languishing well down the order.
Number 11, Troy Corser, the top Ducati in front. Just typical Troy Corser, isn't it? Another rostrum, thanks. I'll keep the championship lead. That'll do fine.
Yeah, but Colin Edwards in dominant margin. Once that kid believed he could win Superbike, nothing is stopping him. It's surprising it took him so long to win his first one, but when he did it, it came in doubles.
Well, he had last season out, didn't he? When he had nearly won in Australia in the first race of the season, out-tracked by that man Aaron Slight to the line, and then he was taken out halfway through. Here's Colin Edwards.
Colin Edwards, 45, and looking very good indeed for Akira Yanagawa now, slipping back into the clutches of Troy Corser on 11 and 111 Slight, who is being caught now by Haga, who's got his breath back in this altogether. Fogarty down to 14th on the bottom of your screen there. Wow, who would have expected him languishing down there with the kind of people, with all due respect, that he's actually languishing with? So, Carl Fogarty in 14th place gets 2 points for that, and he will lose his second place in the championship, guaranteed to Haga. Haga will get back in front of him. Look at the water coming off these bikes. Well, if he's made a bad tyre choice, Carl, if he was expecting this race to dry out slightly and has been absolutely wrong, because he's chucking it down at the moment. Raining cats and dogs, I think is the English phrase.
There's Keeley going through. I expected him to show better. That looked like Neil Hodgson and a lonely... Bontempi having a lonely ride behind him. Back with the leader, Colin Edwards. He's making this look easy. He
is making it look easy. That's a good point. There's Akira Yanagawa now. Keeley at the back, he's had his chance. Haga has got back in front of him, 41 Haga. Haga's now after Aaron Slight. That is Troy Corser, who will be the series leader. In fact, an extended series lead will go his way if he stays in third place at the moment. And this championship really is alive and kicking, isn't it?
Well, it's shuffled.
Look at this, back markers already. That's a bit of a worry. That's Andreas Mecklau. Now, Mecklau qualified well. Mecklau qualified up on, 15th place, so he's going to be lapped already.
Tyre gambler, I suspect.
Well, difficult to say. Despite the fact they have had wet morning conditions today, they qualified in the dry. So therefore, bike setup may not be quite as sharp as it needs to be.
Yeah, just that half an hour before this race was flagged off, they had in the wet.
Mind you, as various riders have said in the past, as Mecklau, I just wouldn't have expected Mecklau, even with Colin Edwards in this kind of form, I wouldn't expect Mecklau to be lapped after just 5 laps.
In the wet, Keith, you'd expect him to be contending for a top half-dozen position.
One might guess that perhaps he's been in pit lane with some other kind of problem and just come back out on the track, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Edwards has gone through, then it's Mecklau. He is a back marker. He's going to get in the way here as well. 4 is Akira Yanagawa. Keeley's closing up back in that place there. Fogarty still, as you can see from the bottom of the screen, 22.5 seconds behind the race leader now. Carl Fogarty back in 14th place, in a lonely 14th place there as well.
The National Australia Day Council is calling for nominations for this year's Young Australian of the Year Awards.
There are 7 categories: arts, sport, community service, regional development, environment, science and technology, and career achievement.
Winners receive a $2,000 Commonwealth Streamline Express account. Western Australia's Young Achiever will receive a further $2,000 and a holiday from Qantas and Hyatt Regency. Nomination forms are available from Network 10, any Commonwealth bank, and in community newspapers.
Hot on the heels of Fashion Week on the East Coast, Perth's premier fashion event, the 1998 Smales Jewellers Fashion Design Awards will be held at the Hyatt Regency June 10. This glamorous night of high fashion and entertainment showcases WA's top designers on the catwalk. Plus, direct from the UK, international entertainer Denny Hines will be making a guest performance. The 1998 Smales Jewellers Fashion Design Awards will be a night of glitz, glamour and entertainment with proceeds to the Variety Club of WA.
The abuse of drugs in our community is touching the lives of thousands of West Australian families. But help is now just around the corner. Drug-aware pharmacies are now providing assistance to people needing advice and information. Your local drug-aware pharmacy provides vital information on a range of drugs, including alcohol and tobacco, and can also refer you to community support services. Don't wait. Visit your local drug-aware pharmacy now.
But Carl Fogarty, as you said, if he thought race 1 in Spain was a disaster. Hello, Aaron Slight looking aggressively at Troy Corser.
About time he woke up. I should think he would want that place. Aaron
yes.
Slight, 9/10 of a second faster than anyone else in dry qualifying. Let's see if he can do it in the wet. Corser looks straight back at Aaron. Yeah, it is only a matter of time. Another man down. That's 76. That's Luther Kraus on a Kawasaki, or was on a Kawasaki. He's now off a Kawasaki. There is. Sorry, Julian.
That's all right, Keith.
Anytime. In your own time.
Oh, thank you, Keith. Yes, I'll get it on lap 6. As Troy Corser is off, I'm not sure he's having a good time there, Keith. You don't often see Troy look over his shoulder. He's had a good couple of glances at Aaron Slight.
Well, I have a bit of a disagreement there, as usual. You'll be very surprised at home to hear that. Troy Corser, I think, is just cruising at the moment. He is one of these very laid-back kind of people. And he's got... The thing is, he thinks on multi-levels, Troy Corser.
Yeah.
He thinks about the championship. He thinks about the possibilities of things. He knows what he can do with the motorcycle. He looks pretty cool where he is at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up that place that Yanagawa sitting in, if he's in the place to do it later on in the race. The fly in the old ointment here is Keeley and
Hager.
Well, Keeley and Slight, I would say.
You reckon is it Yanagawa's bike 3 kph faster than anybody else's through the speed cap? I'm not sure what relevance that has. But I thought I'd tell you anyway.
Well, that's good enough. Relay that information. There it is then. Edwards, Yanagawa, Corser and Slight as they cross the line after lap 5 of the 21. There's Keeley.
Surprised there, Keith. You'd have thought he would have been carving through those bunch in front of him by now.
Well, there is time yet. At the end of the day, we've got a long way to go in this race, and depending on tyre choice, we don't know quite how these conditions are going to shape up as the race goes on. There is Bontempi being caught now by 43.
No, that's Andy McLeod.
Scott Russell, that's it. Russell on 44. 5 is Neil Hodgson. 6th is Jamie Whittam. So Whittam has moved up. He's got in front of Goddard on 8. That's his teammate.
So it looks like Udo Mark.
Yeah, Udo Mark, the wild card man. He's at home in the Nürburgring. He's a German champion. He's
a couple of times, Keith, I think.
So number 76 coming into view here. That's Luther Kraus, I think, the chap who's binned it a minute ago. And here is another back marker, as I thought it was somebody else completely. Robert Husbaugh on another Kawasaki. Here is the man I was waiting for. It is Colin Edwards. Look at that, 3.3 seconds his lead now. It's gone up from 2.9 back to 2.7, now up to 3.3 over second place man Yanagawa. Slightly looking menacing, as he always does.
Anxious, I think, as well. He seems to be always having a look at. He's on a much tighter line.
He
that's
does
all.
that every time.
He does. He gets me every time there. Udo Mark, twice German champion, Keith. 91 on a Yamaha, 94 on a Ducati.
Oh, you got a German Pro Superbike anorak badge as well.
Yes, I have.
Oh, it's in your book. Oh, Julian's World Superbike book tells all.
Now look at Aaron.
Here comes Aaron Slight. Well, he definitely had a look then at the inside. Of course, there's a bump just there that if you get it wrong, you could lose it completely. It's very, very wet just there. More back mark as well. I can't believe we passed something. That is that Robert Husbaugh.
Yep.
But now this last corner onto the start and finish straight. We've already seen go through Colin Edwards. He just went through. Back marker has moved over to the right-hand side. As well he might. Look at this now. Corser under attack. This could be it. Corser under attack now from 111. Aaron Slight. Will Slighty go by? Unless Corser go... Oh, don't touch that white line, Troy. I don't think you'll want to be there.
Oh, no.
No, he doesn't. Well, certainly Aaron took a long look at that then, but Corser sharp on the brakes down into this right-left flick. Harker, well...
on the case.
How can I ever write Harker off?
Yes.
There goes Edwards, your race leader. 45. Another fastest lap from him. 1:55.5 on lap 6.
And what's happening here in this bunch may give Akira Yanagawa a chance to just do a little bit of an escape act.
Well,
maybe.
We'll wait and see. If Slighty gets past, I don't think we're going to see an escape there. So, there it is then. The battle for second place into the rain. And out of the spray comes Akira Yanagawa. And Aaron Slight this time, I'm sure he's made that stick. Whoa!
Oh, hello.
That'll teach me to be sure of anything, won't it? So, Corser runs in real hot despite the conditions.
This is a great dive for second place, Keith, despite the conditions.
This time? up the hill. He looked at it again. I mean, the power of the Honda. Can he lay it down? Can he get the traction to make a pass on quarters? As you saw, that looked like Hager that was up and out of the seat then. Edwards has gone through. Still in the battle for second. He's right. This time, surely, no.
Look at Hager. He's looking every time. If Aaron goes through, Hager is going to absolutely follow him through no matter what, I'm sure.
Hager's going to try and pick up the pieces of these two, that's for certain. Well, what a classic difference between the two men, Corsa and Slight. As far as lines and machinery are concerned, they really are on a different track, aren't they, the pair of them?
Different styles, different lines, different everything. Yanagawa's trying to make it make a break. I don't think so. Keeley now, of course, Keith, right in touch with him. I thought he'd dropped off the back of his stroke, but Frankie Keeley, the man who walked on water in Albacete, starting to make his presence felt.
There we go. Slighty's through. Slighty's gone through on Corsa.
Is the back marker in the way?
Slighty's gone through on Corsa, I'm sure he has. Yes, he did. And he had nothing to do with the back marker. He'd already made the move already. And Corsa's gone through as well. Number 11, Corsa has taken advantage of that as well.
Hager's taken advantage.
We've got a new... You're right, Hager has taken advantage.
Thank you, Corsa.
You said you'd get me back.
And Keeley as well having a look. Hager did follow Aaron Slight through, as he was showing every sign of doing. Crowd getting excited.
You keep saying Keeley, but he's in the same place.
But he's closer than he was.
Keeley's going to do it, Julian says. So
I've got money on it.
We have number 4, Akira Yanagawa, still in second place, but third now is Slight. Slight has moved through. Fourth now is Hager. He's looked, as Julian said quite right earlier on, and I sort of almost dismissed it. Hager,
surely not.
Absolutely. Hager is back on a roll. Back at the back still is Keeley. Does that make any sense?
It does, Keith. It does. Now, can Slight close down the Kawasaki?
Look at that. Another fastest lap from Edwards. He's going quicker and quicker and quicker. And that's the lap board giving us the top 10.
And you do not see number 2 on there.
And number 8, you can see Peter Goddard in 10th place now. He's got back in front of Jamie Whittam.
8 is Whittam.
Thank you for that.
6 is Goddard.
I'm going to round the right way in a minute. 45, it is Colin Edwards. That much I do know. He's in front. Then it's Akira Yanagawa, but under severe attack now from Edwards, his teammate. The fast man from qualifying, Aaron Slight, still in third. Keeley looking at Corsa. Well, Corsa...
what's going on?
Difficult to fathom, Troy Corsa.
Well, he always is, Keith, isn't he? You can never tell.
He's gone fast, he's gone slow. In every race this year, he's just gone backwards and forwards, yo. You can expect him to pick up the pace again later in this race.
But Keeley is now going to have to push past Troy Corsa if he wants to stay with the dice for second and third.
Right out on that white line from Corsa there, and he's underneath Corsa. So Keeley goes up a place. That was a nice move.
Very good move from Frankie. And those are the two smoothest riders in the race, you'd have said, really, number 7 and 11.
Look at that Aaron Slight speed trap time. But that looks like Hodgson. It is. Neil Hodgson down on the ground. So Neil Hodgson is out, struggling down the order, and now picking his bike up out of the grass. That is a terrible shame.
Yeah, there he is. Well, Neil has just shown such good form in the last couple of races, not having any luck at all. Nerfed out by his teammate, effectively, in the second race at Albacete, off that great 7th place in the first one, which he led for a while in Albacete, showing signs of his old self. Now then, Edwards has back markers in the way.
Yeah, that won't make a lot of difference. Got lots of time to go past him. This is what counts here. Aaron Slight chasing Akira Yanagawa. Now, Yanagawa is not going to hang on for much longer because Aaron Slight, he's been putting in fast times. He's just put in the fastest lap of the race so far, and you can expect the second he works it out, he's going to be past Akira Yanagawa. Look at that, running down the hill.
So quick there.
Oh, dear me, I thought he was going to go for that then from about 20 yards further back.
On lap... Oh, that is Hager.
Yes, Hager then buried up to his axles. He'll be going for it, as I looked at 40 seconds behind Carl Fogarty in 14th place.
2 points.
So that's a disaster for him. Hager hits the dirt. There he is. He's back out on track now. You can't keep a good man down.
Remember Donington Park? He went grass track and came back and won it.
Slightly
Not
again.
that I think he's going to win this one.
No, somehow. No, I was hoping
I
you
wasn't
weren't gonna
suggesting
say
that.
Kevin Sorbo, alias Hercules. Find out about the man behind the myth. Will Smith makes his latest project a family affair. We test drive celebrity surgery with some famous Aussie faces and talk to a candid Christopher Reeve. That's E! News, 8 o'clock Tuesday.
CBR 900RR, a racing pedigree.
Taxis and fleets fit Ian Diffin's exclusive Maxxis 999 steel radial because of its high quality and proven 100,000 kilometre tread life. Now Ian Diffin offers you the same generous discounts taxi and fleet operators enjoy. Only $49 for small cars, including fitting, balancing and new tubeless valve. For family size cars, only $69, including fitting, balancing and tubeless valve. $49 the lot for small cars, $69 the lot for family size. At Ian Diffin World of Tyres.
Ain't it grand? Let's go, go, go! Amazing driving! Ain't it grand?
Chrome Proto.
Ain't it grand?
A partnership that produces the most advanced tools in the world.
Ain't it grand?
Whatever the machine,
Ain't it grand?
now more than ever, you can't hand a man a grander spanner.
Concrete pour up 30 floors, but there's views that offer more. A diamond shine, a hot gold pour, and now the perfect way to score. It's West Australian things we do with a big West Aussie crew. With everything we do with a cold in you. Do with a cold in you.
Truly unique Australian craft product. One which is handmade with passion, skill and creativity. That carries the craft mark symbol. Suspicions have been aroused.
Something going on with Andy?
Now he's coming clean with the truth.
Are you sick, Andy? I have cancer in my prostate.
Andy's finally facing his fears.
You're my good friend.
NYPD Blue, 8:30 Thursday on 10.
Akira Yanagawa, 4 in second place. Another back marker moving to the inside of the track. That's going to be quite difficult. There's a lot of back markers all over the place. All these wildcard guys that are really, they're in reverse, aren't they?
It shouldn't happen at World Championship level. Not like this.
We're only on lap 9. At the closing stages, you expect a few back markers, but these guys, some of these guys have been lapped twice. There he goes. Through goes Slightly. Slightly's under Akira Yanagawa. Yanagawa then, maybe his eye line had been taken by that back marker. Who will know? But it was inevitable. Slight went through. Oh, dear me. That's the Kawasaki of Akira Yanagawa. Looking forward at Aaron Slight as they come onto the start and finish straight now. Oh, power on, Akira. After that man, Slight, I think is a lost cause. Settle for third, possibly.
Well, Akira has not had a rostrum yet this year, Keith. I think he'll settle for that here.
Well, possibly. He deserves something better, that's for certain. There is second place man in front of us. Aaron Slight picking it up over the... Well, you can see how much the water is lying just there. So easy to get caught out. We saw Hodgson down on the ground, and really, it's with the water lying as much as it is around here at the moment. You only need to touch a white line or get in a puddle, and that's it, you're off. So, Akira Yanagawa, we're on board with him. He's in third place. In front of us is Aaron Slight, just taken second place from Akira Yanagawa. We get a bit of a blackout. There is now your fourth place man, Pier Francesco Chili, who is right on the case of Akira Yanagawa.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Keith, Akira fans may be disappointed about the rostrum, but I think Keeley is going to mug him before this race is much older.
Well, I did think that there is Hager, he's in. No, he's not.
No, spare bike.
Spare bike, thank you for that. Didn't look dirty enough, did it, really?
No, far too clean.
45, Colin Edwards, race leader goes through. Second place man, his teammate, Aaron Slight, who really wants, after qualifying, the win. He wants to put his teammate in his place and stamp some authority here at the Nürburgring.
Well, as he did it all through qualifying now, and he was a second quicker, and he's getting away from Yanagawa. He's setting fastest laps. He's not going to settle for it, Keith. Aaron wants to reel his teammate in. Keeley is on the case of Yanagawa. There's lots of action left in this one.
We did say that Akira Yanagawa was likely to find it hard to stay in front of Slighty. We also said that it would be Slight and Keeley who probably came up to speed at this part of the race, and certainly it looks like they are. I still can't fathom what's happened to Troy Corsa. I thought Troy Corsa would be a bit more like on the case. There he is, the back of that bunch on bike 11. He's in 5th place still.
And of course, Troy Corsa was second in the rain at the first race in Albacete. We know the lad can ride the wet.
Now then, this should Well, it's quite good for the championship that causes back this far, of course. It will mean that Aaron Slight closes up, it will mean that Colin Edwards closes up, and it will mean that Keeley closes up as well on the race leaders. The only disaster here is really Carl, well, it's a disaster for Joy Causer, obviously finishing that far back for him personally, but the only major disaster is that second place in the series man, Carl Fogarty, is languishing on 2 points, down in 14th place. I do believe the sun's actually beginning to poke its head out as well. That looks a tad brighter on that last lap. Now then, we're on board with Akira Yanagawa. There is Aaron Slight in front of us. Can Aaron Slight catch his teammate Colin Edwards? Edwards is in front.
It's very likely, Keith, that Slight could go third in the championship and overtake Hager, the way this race is shaping up.
Well, Hager's already been in the sandpit. He's right down the order now, as we're on lap 10. Edwards is stuck in. He's responding to the second place man. There he is, 111, Aaron Slight. So Edwards knows that Slight is past them all. And he's responding.
And if Hager doesn't finish the race or pulls in, then Edwards could even overtake him or go level with him, I mean.
We were looking at Edwards' pit then. Oh, look at this little lot that you've got to get through. This is a disaster for the riders. They're catching these back markers just where they could do without having them, right in the middle of that. And you don't want to get offline into territory that you're not used to. Number 10 there, that is Andy Stroud, the New Zealander. Well, he ought to be able to ride in the wet. Andy, a bit of a back marker this year.
And Keeley in front of Yanagawa.
Yes, indeed. A matter of time. And again, it's when you get near back markers, for some strange reason, Akira Yanagawa...
He's not confident, is he?
Uh-oh.
That's
local man by the look of it.
Udo Mark.
Udo Mark in the dirt. Local man indeed. And he looks well beaten up. So Udo Mark, he'll need an early bath by the look of him.
Now, but there's the leader gone through. There's the back markers. Here's second and third, and Keeley.
Look at Keeley.
On the case.
Keeley believes. Keeley's there, right with Aaron Slight. Well, he thought he'd done enough, I think.
Rerun of Albacete. Think of Gregorio Naviga's leader, Albacete. 10 seconds or something. Keeley reeled him in.
Yeah, that's for sure. Keeley looking really menacing on a tight line as well. Back markers all over the road. Get out of the way. So then, still in second place, 111th. That is Aaron Slight, but right there, 7, Keeley. 4 is Akira Yanagawa, slipping back down the order. Now then, that looks like Akira Yanagawa with a problem. I'm sure we are looking back. In fact, it sounds like a Ducati, so maybe we're not.
It sounds like it's
sounds
about
awful.
to die, whatever it is.
That is.
This is Yanagawa
we're on board with. I thought Yanagawa got a reverse facing camera as well, so whoever that was, it did sound like a Ducati, which would have made it a very sick Kawasaki.
Yes, half as many cylinders going half the speed.
Technical details from Julian Ryder. Thank you. As we look down at the hairpin, or from the hairpin, here they come into sight. That is second, third and fourth place.
Maintaining station. Now,
well, plenty of time left in this race.
Yeah, like halfway through.
Oh, look at this. I'm sure Keeley there had got it all spinning.
5.4 seconds. Frankie behind the leader. That's the number we need to keep in mind. Hager in sixth place.
That's not bad for a rescue out of the sandpit, I've got to say. Behind Corsa, maybe. Oh, and there goes a tear-off visor. Both hands almost from Keeley there. Yes. Keeley quite aggressive with his visors.
Yeah, throwing them under Akira Yanagawa's tyres. Fogarty up to 13th place.
Yes.
That's up, dear
52
me.
seconds behind Carl Fogarty from the race leader. Unbelievable situation. And we keep looking for that reverse camera. That is Slight and Keeley.
Look at that, Edwards 30 kph faster than Igor German's Kawasaki through the speed trap.
Well, a lot of that will be down to the fact of how fast he gets onto the straights, of course. If Igor German is dolloping around at the back of the field and not getting the power down quick enough, that has a knock-on effect all the way down the straight.
Dolloping around, yes. Yeah, technical term.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't think of anything better. Oh, and Aaron Slight asking for the power onto the start and finish straight. There he is. Keeley in his wheel tracks. So, Edwards has gone through. 4.2 seconds is his lead over Slight. 4.7 seconds
Keeley
is
has
his lead
taken
over Keeley.
3/4 of a second Keeley has taken out of Edwards' lead in that lap, Keith. Sorry.
Yanagawa still in fourth place. So Keeley has taken that out, but it doesn't look like it, does it, from where we're stood?
It doesn't, does it? It's visually, you wouldn't know. There's, I assume, the leader going through with a Lappy on a Kawasaki. Number 15, Igor German.
Yes, thank you for that, Jules. You were about to call him Piaget.
I was desperately trying not to.
I did all that last time round. So 15, Igor German, having learnt my lesson. Edwards down to the hairpin. Now, he's got to control this race. He's really got to just keep his pace up, and of course, as the rain has stopped now, he's got to just ease the power on and ease the pace up just a notch each lap if he can to keep the rest at bay. There's Fogarty down in the 56 seconds behind now, so just dropping further and further back, Carl Fogarty.
Here he is.
There he is, Carl Fogarty then. 2 times former World Superbike champion, and what a state he's in, really.
He's looking totally tentative, isn't he?
Well, totally subdued. There's a Kiri Yanagawa. He's
looking
back
more like his old self.
Yes, back in 4th place, sorry. Carl Fogarty really, well, for fans back in England, they will be saddened to see this. He's going to lose his 2nd place in the championship, that is sure, for sure. Whether it will demoralise him enough to lose it further in the next race, we can only guess. Having seen the way he coped with it in Albacete, then I would suggest probably he's going to come out fighting.
I think so. It's interesting that this Nürburgring track has got quite a lot of slopes and gradients on it.
Oh, it has, indeed.
And you're getting some little bits of dry track appearing, yet standing water in other places.
I think the interpretation of dry probably isn't that accurate somehow.
Drier.
Still extremely slippery and very difficult, but your point is a good one, in as much as that there's still quite a lot of water laying in parts of it. But not a lot of grip around here anywhere. Not certainly the kind of track you take risks on.
Sure, no, it's always been a bit slippy. Look at those big painted curves designed to keep the car hooligans online.
The lead, though, is down. 2.6 seconds. Slight on Edwards, so Slight is closing him down. Edwards is under attack. Aaron Slight, his teammate, is closing right in. This is going to be a grandstand. Plenty of time to finish. 7 laps left in it yet. So...
and Aaron well in the low 54s. That's faster than I believed anyone would go in this race, given the conditions.
There it is. Corser in 6th place. Goddard is 7th. Russell is 8th. Hager has moved up to 5th. He's caught and passed Troy Corser after going through the sandpit at the end of the track.
CBR 900RR, a racing pedigree.
New car.
Oh, I wish, like riding the wind.
Be hot air if you're driving.
It's a 12-cylinder.
That's about 4 more than you need.
It's more sophisticated.
Both these engines share their most sophisticated component.
Yeah, right.
Shell Helix Ultra, Baz. It's the only engine oil that Ferrari use and recommend. Shall we?
Absolutely.
Shell Helix. Sophisticated performance for 12, 8, 6 and 4-cylinder engines.
Running out of warehouse space? Don't waste hundreds of thousands of dollars moving when the Crown Reach truck could double your warehouse capacity. Working in narrow aisles using the Crown Double Deep Reach system, you can store goods up to 7 pallets high and 2 deep. So don't move out when from just $38 a day you can move up with the Crown Reach truck. Ring 131 604.
There is nothing like a Crown for picking it up and putting it down.
Advice for a fuller life from Emu Draft. Friends are valuable. You cannot lift a full esky on your own. Do not be afraid to show your emotions. Some are born with good taste, some acquire it. Read instructions carefully. And most important of all, drink a full-flavoured beer that lets you live life to the full.
Ain't it grand? Let's go, go, go! Amazing driving! Ain't it grand?
Chrome Proto.
Ain't it grand?
A partnership that produces the most advanced tools in the world.
Ain't it grand?
Whatever the machine,
Ain't it grand?
now more than ever, you can't hand a man a grander spanner.
George Harris breeds champion dogs. From sunrise to sunset, he looks after their every demand. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to spend their lives talking to a bunch of old dogs. So George calls Introline and talks to really cool people. Introline. It's a party. It's a rave. It's thousands of people like you who want to talk and sometimes want to meet. Try it free right now. Introline. You'll never know who's out there till you try it.
So as we look at Edwards leading. There is Keeley. Well, Keeley, he looked like he was chasing pretty well on Slidey, but Slidey now has, you know, sort of geared himself up and got moving.
Yes, it looks like that man, number 7, Pierre-Francesco Keeley, showed his hand, put in the speeds that he could, and it wasn't good enough to keep Aaron Slight in sight.
A whole load of well-known back markers along your screen there that are all thankfully behind Carl Fogarty. Fogarty is still moving up. Edwards, 2.6 seconds over Slight now. It's come down a tenth of a second.
It's come down, Keith. Those are the last 3 laps we've seen.
It was a tenth of a second on what we saw a moment ago. I think is what I was trying to make you right. It's come down tremendously.
Back marker moves out the way, leader comes through, and you can see now that his teammate Aaron Slight is right with him. Pierre-Francesco Keeley in an increasingly lonely 3rd place. We're now heading for Honda versus Honda as the showdown.
Yeah, did you see that look on Edwards' face?
Yes.
So Colin Edwards had a real stare on his face then. The concentration acute, as Edwards now is only 7/10 of a second, so he's taken, well, Aaron Slight has taken nearly 2 seconds out of Colin Edwards, the race leader. And in 3rd place is Keeley. Keeley there in 3rd place still, but it is Slight who is closing. This is a slow-mo onto the start and finish straight. Remarkable stuff from Aaron Slight.
Great shot.
Determined.
Great shot of Colin Edwards right in the visor of the young American. In the 53.5, Aaron Slight.
That's just a little bit quicker again from Aaron Slight. There's Adrian Gorst. That was originally Aaron Slight's mechanic. I think he now works for Colin Edwards.
I think they swapped around that way, yes indeed. Didn't he used to work for you, Adrian Gorst?
He did, that's why I knew him. He doesn't look any better either.
Better job he's got nowadays, though.
Yeah, it certainly pays more. Haga then 5th still. Grimini in 10th and Whittam in 11th. Whittam is in front of Fogarty as well. There's Pedicini's in front of Fogarty too.
This is making gruesome viewing for British fans, I must say. The news from Neil Hodgson, he just fell off unaided in the wet, mistake on the floor.
And Troy Corser struggling as well. He's going back through the order. Fogarty there in 13th. He's going to be lapped, you know, Carl Fogarty, if he's not careful. He's 53, 57 seconds behind race leader. He's still Colin Edwards.
I'll tell you what, though, Keith, this is going to be absolutely wonderful for the championship. He's going to telescope up.
Not for Carl Fogarty's.
No, he's just going to have a lot more blokes level with him than he did when he started. Both of them on Hondas.
Troy Corser will be getting away, though, because he is in 1st place in the series, and he will be adding points to that. 3.7 seconds is the distance back from 1st to 3rd man, Keeley. We're looking at him, number 7 Keeley now, 3.7 seconds, which Julian compares with
4.72 laps ago.
So Edwards is being shut down by them all. Colin Edwards, this is always the trouble when you lead at the front of a race with the conditions getting slightly better. You've got to keep up in your pace, lap on lap on lap on lap. When you've got no one to chase, that's quite often quite hard. Now then, Slight has got someone to chase. He's almost on Edwards' tail. This is 3rd place man, Pierre-Francesco Keeley. Behind him, 4th place man, number 4, Akira Yanagawa.
And really, the dice is about 1st and 2nd. There's Keeley. 5 seconds, 4 seconds behind the leaders. He's on his own. If Frankie keeps on his wheels, he's got 3rd place in the bag. But Aaron Slight, he's desperate to put the embarrassment of that Superpole, he said arrogance almost.
He's not got a problem at all. He said he was just cocky, that's all. He didn't concentrate enough. That's easily done. So Aaron Slight, though, looking like he's going to make amends. He's right there in the slipstream of Colin Edwards. It's going to be a little while yet. He's going to give it just a minute or two, I think, to take a breather where he is. And the line, the damp line, we'll call it for the moment, around this track as a back marker finds himself all out a little bit wide there. The line is getting drier and drier. Here it comes. You can see it there. Look at that.
That's what I was talking about 3 laps ago.
It's still damp, but it's there, and that will make it extremely difficult to pass. If you get off the line to try and make a pass, you're going to find yourself back on the real slippery stuff. So
good point.
Aaron Slight has got a lot of work to do here, and he's got plenty of time to do it. Still, just over 4 laps to go now from Edwards in the lead to Aaron Slight's inevitable, in my view, pass.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've had some real teammate versus teammate stuff this year, haven't we? And this is going to make another interesting bit of viewing.
And again, we're looking at the battle of the Hondas. These two have been dominant through qualifying. The only other trouble with finding a dry line, even though it's late on in the race, of course, it tears wet weather tyres to absolute shreds. So if they've got a dry line and they're using a dry line, as Slidey, well, has a look at the inside line there, we might find these guys diving for the wet bits in a straight line and just keep their tyres cool.
You see Aaron Slight's bike getting out of line as he asks for power on a bit of dryish tarmac. He's right in there. Is Aaron going for it this time?
Oh, he's up the inside. Can Colin Edwards rescue it? And Colin Edwards was later on the brakes there, so The only difficulty again, it means that Slidey has to go off of the dry patch, or the dry-ish patch, into the braking area, which is not where you want to be, really. Look at that now, it's drying noticeably. It really is drying out now.
Oh, that last corner was soaking wet, and now look at the dry line in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, frightening stuff.
Right there, Edwards and Slide. So Slidey's taken a look at every inch that Edwards is on. He's waiting for the opportunity. He can see the track drying in places. He'll be weighing up the opportunity to pass and where it's safe to make the pass without possibly sliding. Well, he obviously worked it out just a lap earlier. Down the inside goes Aaron Slide, up the inside of Colin Edwards. Edwards goes second, Slide goes first, and now the battle is on. Can Edwards respond? He now is the man chasing Aaron Slide. I believe that Aaron Slide is so good here at the Nürburgring and got his bike set up so well. He is on to win this race, and about time too, Aaron.
Absolutely, Keith. And I can hear the stampede of punters heading to the bookies, trying to get a double on for a double win.
Here it is. Up the inside at the hairpin. He's got it all worked out. He's an intelligent enough fella, Aaron Slights, and scrubbed the speed off beautifully down into that turn. And Colin Edwards can only look on. Expects, sideways on there from Aaron Slight. Expect then Aaron Slight to pull away now. Colin Edwards, I'm sure, will settle for second place. He won't want to risk that championship position. And this track really is drying very rapidly now. There's a little bit of wind here. I did say that the sun had poked out a little earlier on, but it's having a devastating effect on the tarmac here at the Nürburgring.
Bodes well for the Super Sport race that comes later, as well as the second round of the World Superbike Series, of course. Those are speed trap times on the bottom straight. Edwards' bike quickest. Yana Gower's been the quickest regularly. There you go, 4 laps to go, say the Honda team's pit boards.
Yeah, Ian Richards there holding out Colin Edwards' board. While Adrian Gorse stands behind, keeping an eye on what's going on. So Castrol Honda, well, they're proud men, that's for sure, this year. It's been a very, very difficult year for them. Indeed. Oh, down and out, another back marker. That's Frank Heidegger.
Great name.
Indeed.
For anybody who studied physics.
Dirt digger, I think.
Yes.
So well and truly out of it. Why, what's that got to do with anything, Jules?
No, it's Heisenberg, Keith. Sorry, I was trying to be clever and outdid myself.
There he is.
That's the Hager line.
Well, yeah, but only Hager stayed on. So Heidegger hits the grass and then, yes, very nicely done. Yeah, yes, very good. Embarrassing. But I have seen Eddie Lawson do that, so you'll be allowed, Mr. Heidegger.
He's just thinking that at the moment. I can tell my team manager.
Eddie Lawson did it at Assen. Anyway, back at the Nürburgring.
Look at that dry line coming down the straight. Well, about a half a yard wide.
Good for braking, though. Providing you're on it.
Yes.
Don't miss it, boys, otherwise we'll be seeing you in a bit. Here is Fogarty.
Still circulating, still looking like
uncomfortable and very subdued.
Look at the body language, absolutely rigid and straight on the bike.
So that's very similar to what happened in Spain. He didn't look like he was going to do anything in Spain in race 1, but then he came out the track. Even when we interviewed him between the 2 races, he certainly seemed like a man that was very subdued, but he came out in race 2 and won it. You can never predict Carl Fogarty. There's the difference from Edwards down to Fogarty. So from second place Edwards down to Fogarty, 1 minute 16 seconds off the pace. Carl Fogarty is behind Colin Edwards, who's second, so he's even more off the pace compared with Aaron Slight. He'll be pleased.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I think only Susie Perry could get an interview with Carl between these 2 races.
Well, I think if it had been anyone else, there would be no comprehending.
Exactly. There's second place man Colin Edwards. Must be feeling just a little bit sick at the moment. 3 laps to go. He has a 4-second lead over the man in 3rd place, Frankie Keeley. That's what his pit board's telling him.
Tuesday.
I want the worst case scenario.
They live hard.
You're not gonna die, are you?
They fight dirty.
You still love her, don't you?
I never stop loving her.
But one thing's for sure.
Marry me, Amanda.
They play for keeps.
We made love.
Melrose Place, 9:30 Tuesday. CBR 900RR, a racing pedigree.
You feel there is something missing in your life, you're not coping well, feeling depressed or having relationship problems, then the Trish Edmond Counselling Service can help you. Trish Edmond offers warm, caring counselling in a safe environment with a professional who is trained to facilitate change in your life. Take charge of your own life. Establish and achieve your goals. Invest in your future happiness. Call Trish Edmond Counselling today on 9307 8054. You owe it to yourself.
Welcome to Friends.
Friends, Perth's newest fine dining experience in the Hyatt Centre. Clyde and Leslie Bevan from Dear Friends and former Chef of the Year Gwinnea Leslie have created a truly world-class restaurant for fine dining at very affordable prices. Friends' exceptional wine selection, outstanding river views and intimate ambience make it a very special dining experience. Friends at the Hyatt Centre, truly fine dining at its very best.
Friends. It's a catch caught by a trawler. It's a wind we call the doctor. There's rows and rows of things we grow, computer screens to let you know. It's the West Australian things we do with a big West Aussie brew. With everything we do with a cold in you. Do with a cold in you.
8 o'clock Wednesday.
No, you want him.
Lessons in lust.
Shoulders back, chest out. Good God, Maya, can you even see what color your shoes are?
Maya's top the class.
Steve is suing me for sexual harassment. Congratulations.
Just Shoot Me. 8 o'clock Wednesday on 10.
Here it is, Aaron Slight at the chicane. Colin Edwards, his teammate behind. What a result for Honda this is going to be. Well, it's nice to see that they're going to be able to convert their original qualifying times before Superpole, 3 Superpole qualifying times from first and second on the grid to a first and second out here on the track, and barring any mistakes, now that is what makes it very difficult. You saw there, back marker, he was very polite and he moved over, but the dry line was taken effectively, and Colin Edwards had to venture out onto the damp stuff, and unless you've got your head in gear, which I'm sure Colin Edwards has, you can make a very easy mistake there.
Yes, you made a point just now, Keith, about this is the form from qualifying, not Superpole, and right through the year, that's been the case. Superpole has been a sideshow. You want to know what's going to happen in the race, you have to look back to Saturday morning and see what happened in qualifying.
Of course, that's not accounting for lousy weather like we've had descend on us today. And of course, this region of Germany, very, very renowned for it. The Nürburgring, set in the Adenauer region. And remember the 14-mile track they used to have to race around for the Grand Prix.
Just over the back here, behind our camera.
It's part of this track. This track just cuts it off. They use this track on the 14-mile track.
They get on the new Nordschleife. Indeed, there's Akira Yanagawa running round in 4th place. Mr. Hewen, of course, was in the last ever Grand Prix that was run on the 14-mile Nordschleife at the Nürburgring. I think that's correct, isn't it?
It is, actually, yeah. You've got a great memory, Julian. I don't know how you do it. I can't remember.
It's funny, I saw the last ever World Championship race here, an 8-hour World Endurance race, won by Jacques Cornet with John Eckerold Sr. in it.
And Eckerold Jr. is out there today in this Superbike race. So then, there is second place man, 45 Colin Edwards. Had to just steady myself down there for a moment. Coming to the line is Aaron Slight, race leader. We are on lap 20 now of 21 as he crosses the line. 2 laps left to go for Aaron Slight. He's in control, as well he might be. And he might... Oh, he did actually explain that he'd been a little cocky in Superpole. That cost him dearly as far as his grip position was concerned. But you don't get any money at all for predicting that he could have won this race. He's good in the wet. He clearly liked the Nürburgring. He clearly is getting on with the Honda now. And he clearly is leading this race by a mile from his teammate Colin Edwards.
And amazingly, that man Akira Yanagawa's 4th place finish, let's say he'll stay there, will be his best finish of the year, believe it or not.
Well, it's about time. It's nice to see Akira Yanagawa, but I've got to say Kawasaki have had problems this year.
They've started late, haven't they, this year?
They really have. I mean, look back a couple of years ago to when Kawasaki started off with bikes that wouldn't work and came blasting straight into pole position in Akira Yanagawa's case. And really, we expected so much from that young Japanese today.
So there was money on him as a good outside bet for the championship, wasn't there? Carl Fogarty was saying he'd be a major threat this year over the winter break, but it has not materialised. Harger in 5th, Keith.
Yeah, he's been there for a long time in front of Troy Corser. He caught and passed Corser. Corser has had serious problems at this track. We can only guess that he has chosen exactly the wrong tyres. Whittam is up in 9th place. Scott Russell is down in 11th place. The ex-125 world champion, Alessandro Gramini, is the meat in their sandwich, although not that he's going to have too much to do with Russell. Might have something to do with Whittam.
Yes, that'll be interesting.
Lucio Pedicini is still in 12th place, and Carl Fogarty is behind him still in 13th.
Well, not surprisingly, Haga will jump over Carl Fogarty to go second in the championship, I think, Keith. But both the Hondas, Edwards and Aaron Slater, are going to come storming up the ratings, as is Akira Yanagawa, although he won't affect the top half dozen.
25 points then is going to be Aaron Slater, provided he doesn't do too much of what he just did, spin that rear wheel and high-side himself out of this 25-point position. Here is a 20-point man. That is Colin Edwards. We're on the right-hander, onto the start and finish straight. Kyle, look at this, head down now. Comes to the right-hander. It is the final lap indeed. So Aaron Slight then is on his last lap. Colin Edwards in second place, nice and safe there. Likewise, Pier Francesco Chili on bike 7 in third, and likewise Akira Yanagawa on bike 4 back in 4th place. Now, the only drama that we can still have here are, of course, back markers. And remember Jean-Marc Delatang, who is out of this race, I remind you, because he crashed out earlier on. So Delatang is out of it as far as I'm aware, and but they're there and they're blocking the track. Come on, Aaron, nice and gently. You've got a long lead. Oh, well, that's okay then. Providing the back marker doesn't now fall on the brakes and wipe Aaron Slight out, we'll be okay.
Doomsday scenario.
I'm looking for every scenario as far as it's concerned, just in case. But Aaron Slight now, I would say that is safety sorted. Look for Colin Edwards. There he is, only just coming out of the hairpin. So Slight's got this one completely tied up. It is Slight that's going to win it. I can't imagine in his worst dreams, although I've got to say that I've said many times in this commentary that Aaron Slight was not destined for this World Championship. Yep. He has had such bad luck. We've even seen a Honda blow an engine up in Monza. Yep. I've not seen a Honda go bang for so long. In fact, I don't remember seeing an RC45 go bang.
Aaron Slight at Hockenheim in the first year when he fell off and had to take the blame because although it wasn't his fault, because Works Hondas never break, Keith.
There we go then. Let's hope this one doesn't break. Aaron Slight in the closing stages then is going to take the win of the German World Superbike round. He has looked absolutely immaculate throughout this race. He took his time throughout the very, very wet part of the race. Now he is on, slides it through the right-hander. He's going to come onto the start and finish straight now, take the win, a deserved win for him then. Colin Edwards will be second, but Aaron Slight comes to the line. A great win for him. His team will be happy. James Tosland back in our studio will be happy. Colin Edwards comes out. It's a 1-2 for Castrol Honda. Here he is, 45 Edwards, and third will be Pier Francesco Chili on bike number 7. A subdued finish to the racing, I think. They're still damp. Akira Yanagawa comes through in 4th place, but a fine win for Slight.
And the only man apart from Aaron Slight. Hello, here's Haga and Corsa and number 6 there as well. Of course, Peter Goddard. This is going to be a little run. Watch that Suzuki of Goddard.
Oh, here he goes up the inside. We're looking back from Haga, are we? Oh, dearie me,
what's going on?
Rather, I should say. Here's Haga. Haga's going to get 5th, and Goddard's going to get 6th in front of Corsa. So, well, that's good for the championship.
Aussie mugs Aussie.
Yes, that'll go down well, but all's fair in love and war. And, of course, Corsa, well, he'll be cheesed off. He'll be cheesed off with the result, but he won't be with Peter Goddard. Over the line comes Bontempi. There he is, number 9, Bontempi. And looking Whittam back to Whittam in 8th, and Alessandro Gramini, I think he's 39.
It is. That was a nice, entertaining last corner from Jim Whittam and Gramini.
Yes, where is Carl Fogarty as we look down the order? Still not coming anywhere near to the last corner. Well, Jamie Whittam, no muck in the wet. There is your top 8. Haga, Goddard, Corsa, Bontempi. Then it's 9th for Whittam. He did duff up Gramini, but there again he was in front of him anyway.
It was
Russell in 11th place. He stayed in the same place behind Gramini. We wait for Pedicini in 12th. It should be, according to my record.
It was
a long way behind.
Jousting from Frankie Keeley.
Pedicini indeed comes over the line 1 minute 30 seconds behind Pedicini, behind the leaders. These guys were almost lapped. So Carl Fogarty wasn't lapped, but he must have been very, very close to not being on the same lap. That is, well, I would say use the word embarrassing, but I think it's something much more graphic.
It doesn't do it justice, the word embarrassing, Keith. We thought out of the first race in Albacete was bad from a British fan's point of view. This was worse by a very long way.
There is your second place man, Colin Edwards. Looking a bit sort of, I don't know whether he's happy particularly with second place, having led it for as long as he did, but certainly that's what he's going to have to settle for with the form that Aaron Slight's showing at the moment. Fourth place man, number 4, Akira Yanagawa.
He looks relieved, doesn't he, rather than happy?
Well, yeah, I think probably it's half a result for him, really, isn't it? But we look at the race leader then, Aaron Slight of New Zealand. Good line in flags around here at the Nürburgring.
All eventualities catered for.
The efficient Germans.
They'll have a room full of them, won't they, for the appropriate winner.
Well, nice way for Aaron Slight in atrocious conditions to open the account today. Here is third place man, Francesco Chili. What are we about to see?
You always wonder with Frankie, don't you?
Whatever it was, though, we know he made the line. This is a replay at the end of the race. Well, there is Colin Edwards. Obviously, it wasn't anything to worry about.
I think we're just reprising the top 3 here, Keith. We've seen the third place finisher. And now here is the winner. We've seen number 45, his teammate, and now we're getting a quick look in slow motion at the man who has just won his 9th ever World Superbike race. His 7th, and there's Keeley stabbing him to death.
Francesco then. And there it is. That is the series as it is. 10 points then now. Haga moves up into second place. Corsa still leads, but 10 points his lead. Slight up to third. Fogarty drops to fourth, though, but look how close it is. Slight and Fogarty on exactly the same points. Fogarty got 2 wins, though. The Slight's 1 win. Keeley is 5th. Edwards is 6th. What a superb championship. Just look at it. It's close all the way down the field, really.
There's good dices, interest there all the way down. And there is Colin Edwards. What do you feel like? You've led for most of a race and then your teammate does you.
Well done, Aaron. Your first win of the year. How did that feel?
Oh, it was great. You know, when it rained this morning, I thought, oh no, you know, what a bummer, because things are going so good for us in the dry, and you know, we went out in the warm-up and things were working pretty well, and when halfway through the race, Colin was out in front and I knew I could close him down, and it was just a matter of just getting my head down and doing it. So and we got there in the end. It was perfect.
And can you see the possibility of a repeat in race 2?
Yeah, it depends on the weather. You know, I can win in the dry or the wet now, so I'm really happy for race 2.
Great. Congratulations. Well done.
Thanks.
Aaron Slight then. Well, a deserved smile on his face as well. Honda must be very, very happy this weekend so far. Out of adversity, they come out with a double.
That's the first time a Kiwi's heard his national anthem this year in World Championship motorcycle racing. It's for Aaron Slight, and I think he will have set the fastest lap again for the 5th time this year. So he set 5 fastest laps, but that was only his 2nd trip to the rostrum and his 1st win.
Imagine a world without sight.
So she's not really blind.
You think she's faking it?
A life of only sound.
Did you see the murder?
I don't see anything.
Smell.
She was lying, I'm sure of it.
She didn't see anything.
Not with her eyes.
Taste.
I think she's got some kind of sixth sense, lets her see in the dark.
And touch.
Go to hell.
Justice may be blind, but it can see in the dark. All new X-Files, Wednesday on 10.
CBR 900RR, a racing pedigree. Casa Security has done it again. Quality monitored home alarm systems professionally installed with lifetime guarantee. Now 20% off Casa's normal discounted price. Plus Telstra Mode 3 connection free. Call Casa Security now. WA Security Specialists. 9248 1100.
Why pay more? At Votel, we're offering this brand new Nokia 3810 for just $49. And that's not all. We'll even throw in a bonus carry case and car charger. Stocks are limited and conditions apply, so rush into your nearest Votel store today.
Laura James researches the genetics of beef cattle. She works with some of Australia's cleverest scientists. But who wants to spend their lives talking a load of old bull? So after work, she talks to really cool people on Introline. Introline. It's a party. It's a rave. It's thousands of people like you who want to talk and sometimes want to meet. Try it free right now. Introline. You'll never know who's out there till you try it.
We were asked to build a high-performance engine with an output of 150 horsepower. We then had to design an ultralight motorcycle with a total weight of only 177 kilograms. This motorcycle has the smallest wheelbase in its class of only 1395 millimeters. So far advanced, it will take years for the competition to catch up. Years for the competition to catch up.
Welcome back, and as we take a little break from racing, as we always do, let's check how Aussies are going in the United States and Great Britain. Firstly, over in Britain, where Neil Mackenzie leads the championship, Troy Bayliss scored a pair of fifth placings in round 4. He's now 6th on the table with 74 points, but he's a long way behind Neil Mackenzie, as you can see. Let's go to the United States. Anthony Gobert scored a win and a second in the double-header at Road Atlanta. He's on 184 in the American Championship after 6 rounds. He's still 5th, but look at this, only 19 points behind the series leader, Doug Chandler. Matty Mladen, of course, is right in the thick of the battle as well on 196. That is one amazing championship. Any of the top 5 can win it. Before we go back to racing action, let's answer that trivia question for you. Aaron Slight has been around for a long time. He debuted in Superbike World Championship in 1989 on a Kawasaki. That was the model I referred to, and he finished 14th, incidentally. Let's look ahead, though, before we go back to racing action, to the World Superbike Championship 6th round. It's Misano, San Marino, Sunday, June 21. Check your local guides for details. Now, here's Keith and Julian with race 2.
And now we're looking at the front row of the grid. Red flag at the front. There is Lavia. Behind him, or beside him, I should say, 45 is Colin Edwards. Lavia looking up at the lights there. You saw him look to his right. That's where the lights are. And we are seconds away from the second World Superbike race of the day. The German round is go. Yes! A brilliant start from Edwards, sideways on. Oh, look at Corsa. Corsa's got reverse on. So Corsa struggled like hell there to try and get some grip for the rear end of the bike. It was a clean start. It just wasn't a very good one for Corsa. Edwards leads. Look at Russell on the outside there on 44. We'll want to be out there. He'd go motocrossing in a minute.
Harger was into the first corner. That's Yanagawa's Kawasaki. Trying to
and we're all sorts of trouble there. That's one of Suzuki's. It's Whittam. Yes, our weather forecaster is out there.
Goddard, I think. Was it 6?
He's been struck. Well, wait and check that out. It looked to me like it was Whittam, I've got to say. 6 has gone through, so I'm fairly sure it was Jamie Whittam. There's 6. It's Goddard gone through. Whittam is further back. There he is.
Correct.
It was Whittam.
Correct.
Glad my eyesight's not failing me. Now then, at the back. Well, a lot of work to be done here already, but look at Colin Edwards. Well, he's going to try and make sure that this time round, Aaron Slight, who's 3rd, can't catch him.
That's Noriyuki Harger in 2nd place, Keeley in 4th. Is it Yanagawa in 6th,
well,
I think?
I tell you, if we are struggling to pick up their numbers and who they are from our cameras, you can bet it is really murky down there on the ground.
The 3 Kawasaki's travelling together, Hodgson, Bontempi and Akira Yanagawa, I believe.
That's a great shot, that is.
Oh, it tells you all you need to know, doesn't it?
So, with the rain getting heavier and heavier, another deluge, it's falling on the World Superbikers this time. It's Harger 2nd. Harger is 2nd, Keeley 3rd, Slight's gone back 2 to 4th, then it's Bontempi coming through, there's Lavia on 35, something like 9th place for him, but Colin Edwards is getting away. Look at that bow wave he's got in front of him.
Troy Corsa up to 5th place, he's just...
Oh, look at Keeley! Keeley's a passenger! He's on with Harger. Harger's going to go. Oh, look at Slidey up the inside of all of them. Aaron Slight, beautifully done. Oh, well, it looked like Keeley was going to pinch it off Harger, but he was mugged by Slight.
Oh, Aaron's on the charge, the man who's never done a double in World Superbike racing.
Well, he's looking to do one here, or he's going to end up in the sandpit, that's for certain, because he's running in a bit hot, considering how long we got. This is a 21-lap race, Aaron, someone ought to tell you.
I thought he said he wanted to. Look at that.
Teammates, 5 and 4. That's Hodgson and Akira Yanagawa.
Yeah, I thought Aaron was heading to the Supersport World Series.
He's second. Slidey has gone 2nd, then back goes Keeley to 3rd, and back to 4th goes Harger on bike 41. Keeley and Slight, those two were our predictions for doing well in race 1 in the conditions, and now that they've both come together, oh, here comes Keeley.
Oh, take that.
I don't think I need to say anymore, do I, really?
You don't really, it's wet. There's number 9, Bontempi, ahead of the two Works Kawasaki's.
So, Keeley second, Slight third, fourth is that man, 41, Noriyuki Haga, then... Well, yes, then it's Lavia.
Yes, it is, Keith.
Catch on, Keith, come on. It's just I'm not used to seeing Gregorio Lavia as much as we are at the moment.
Third in Spain in the wet.
That's what I meant this year. So, Pier Francesco Keeley. All men in pursuit. Yes, and he's looking round now, in pursuit of number 45, Colin Edwards.
And Keith, the bloke identified as Lavia is in fact Corsa,
yes,
who pushed past the Kawasaki on the last lap and has gone up to the Yamaha of Haga in double short order.
Wow, he had a whole load of wheel spin at the start and effectively stood still while everyone leapt off into the first turn. So Corsa's given himself a little bit of work to be getting on with there. Oh, look at this. Oh, Keeley believes.
Yes,
Keeley is a believer.
that
round
much,
the outside. Beautifully done, but the Honda powers away. Good drive there from 45, Colin Edwards. Keeley, though, well, Carl Fogarty is struggling like mad, but Pier Francesco Keeley is relishing these conditions. This is where he was good last time. So is Colin Edwards, though, through the left-right chicane.
Oh, yeah, money in the wet, as you say, is on Frankie Keeley. He's done it once this year in Spain.
Oh, look at the power he put down there, Keeley.
Wonderful.
He just got perfect drive out of that little short right-hander, onto the right-hander that goes onto the start and finish straight. Keeley, well, they're going to be going nuts in pit lane.
They are. Well, Aaron Slight now has to get past his teammate really quickly, or it's goodbye Frankie, I feel.
Now then, number 11 in the mist is Corsa in 4th place. Troy Corsa, the Australian, riding, I've got to say, much better from a very useless start, effectively.
Yes.
Keep practicing, Troy.
1:57, fastest lap to Frankie, no surprise there. Looking down the order, we see Hodgson is behind his teammate, but in front of Bontempi. Good stuff from Neil. Goddard, Gramini, Lavia, Mark. Where is Carl?
Well, Carl Fogarty is lower than 12th. Here he is in his customary 13th as far as the Nürburgring is concerned. Got Jamie Whittam, so a bit of a British Championship race going on down there. Scott Russell, we heard from him, not happy with the Yamaha. In fact, he hadn't even been back to the garage after he finished race 1. So, Gramini there on the inside of Lavia. Yes. So Gramini, well, that's a great sight. The 125 world champion, ex-world champion, having a great ride.
8th in the first race. He's stuck in the top 10. Look at that.
Look at the water there. So, Noriyuki Haga splashes his way around this track.
And coming up behind him rather rapidly, Akira Yanagawa, having not had a good season, first half of the season on the Kawasaki, also being eclipsed at home by his fellow countryman Haga.
Wow.
There's incentive.
I was going to say, there's a surprise as well, isn't there, this year?
Absolutely.
Haga has been superb. There's Keeley, race leader. 45 is Edwards in 2nd place. 3rd is Aaron Slight. 4th is Troy Corsa. And there, in 5th place, Noriyuki Haga being caught by Akira Yanagawa, as you say.
Rather rapidly, I think.
A major incentive there.
Yes. It's Akira, the first Japanese to win a World Superbike race outside of Japan. There's his place in history.
Well,
secured.
Haga, well, he's been the sensation in this class this year, and in the 500 class as well in this first wildcard race, of course.
I think so.
But Haga, 5th place in race 1. And that was after a long excursion into the sand pit.
And he will race the Suzuka 8-hour with Simon Crafar. Get some money on at the bookies now.
There you go, Scott Russell is out. There is Scott Russell's bike being tended to. So Scott Russell, no interest today. Not a happy man. The team aren't happy, he's not happy. In fact, I can't see this going on for very much longer between those guys.
No, it's getting to that point, I'm afraid.
Yes, I think it is. Right then, here we are. Still it's Akira Yanagawa on 4, chasing 41. That is the irrepressible Noriyuki Haga. I like a guy with a sense of humour.
He's got one.
Keeley goes through, another man with a sense of humour, followed by Colin Edwards, another man with a sense of humour. Then it's Aaron Slight and Troy Corsa. There's his developing.
Well, I think it's being tested severely at the moment, their sense of humour. Aaron surely must have dreamt of his first double in World Superbike. But the way Frankie is going, he's going to, oh, look at that, Yanagawa right on Haga's case. No mercy any moment now.
Yes, I feel sand in my shoes.
Yes.
I can feel it coming. I just have that horrible suspicion at some stage we might have a major wipeout here. Oh. He didn't learn anything from race 1, did he? Because that's the corner that he went straight on into the sand pit at last time. And Haga really hot down into that horseshoe corner.
Keith Hewen's beach illusion. is substituting the gravel of the gravel trap for the sand of a beach.
Of course, if there was any what am I trying to say? Any reason for the sand pits being as wide as they are, so the spectators can't see what's going on, then it's Noriyuki Haga.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Edwards, and Aaron Slide, having gone up to him very rapidly, is not really attacking. Corsa's making progress in fourth place.
He is. You're absolutely right. Troy Corsa on the Ducati is closing very, very slightly on Aaron Slide. Keeley, 2.23 through the speed trap. 2.26 for Edwards. Slide 2.25. That makes a change. He's slower than that. Oh no, he's not slower than his teammate.
Yeah.
He's slower than Ducati. Corsa on 2.21. Haga 2.17.
Not quick.
Says it all for the Yamaha, doesn't it? Really?
Yes.
Not a quick bike, but what a pilot.
Yes. Yes. Oh, now then, what do I think about Aaron not being in touch with his teammate?
Well, possibly mentally. But as far as trackside goes, Slidey is underneath Colin Edwards. Colin Edwards is now going to get a bit of a wet weather riding lesson from his teammate. Slight goes second.
Jean-Marc Delatang must have jumped the start. He has a stop-and-go penalty.
It's not been his day, has it?
It's not been off early in the first. Frankie Keeley departing into the middle. Look at the bow wave he's leaving.
Yes.
And another fastest lap. He doesn't care. He's having fastest lap after fastest lap, Frankie Keeley.
Well, the one thing's for certain, when it's wet like this, it's consistent all the way around the track. It is absolutely stonking wet. There's nothing much you can do about it. You've just got to ride it, grit your teeth, and go for it. It's when it's drying or when it's getting wetter the problems arise, I feel.
Look at the gap, 0.9 of a second, 2.2, 3.7. That's the way the gap between Keeley and Aaron Slide. Whoops, who was that, Haga?
Corsa out wide. Well, unless Haga's made a lot of time up.
Yeah, it's a very good point, Keith.
Haga is away back there in fifth place, just rounding the horseshoe now with Akira Yanagawa trying to sort him out.
Yes, how could I forget a gap like that?
Well, it's easy when you get water in the works, and it's Akira Yanagawa that's in front of Haga, in fact. So, that's the back marker that's out again. That's Robert Huber. We saw a bit of him in race one, mainly being passed.
Yes, just doing a few minor running adjustments there.
Yeah, brake still works. He squeezes it just to make sure. There he is, race leader. Wow, what a ride then from Pier Francesco Keeley. We go back to the fifth place battle. This is sixth place man Noriyuki Haga. He's given best to Akira Yanagawa. Yanagawa about to have the best pair of rides he's had in 98.
Yes, his fourth place in the first race today was his best finish of the year, and 3 fifth places. And for a man who we'd all tipped as a good bet for a championship contender, not good Corsa approaches in his normal stealthy manner.
Absolutely.
He's a real stealth bomber, this bloke, isn't he? You look at him, you can't tell whether he's trying hard, going fast, going slow. You've got to use the stopwatch or the lap chart, and you find out that Troy Corsa, whatever ailed him in the first race, is certainly not a problem now.
Plenty of time to go in this race as well. We're not at 1/3 distance just yet, so Troy Corsa doing it all absolutely right. Colin Edwards, knee down in the puddle there. Colin Edwards chucking up water into the face of Troy Corsa. And it really is just graphic there of how wet it is. Look at the water running across the track there. There's a river of it.
And look at the gap. You see it's come down, then gone up a little bit again, but average that out. And Troy Corsa is just starting to sneak up on the Hondas.
So as a tentative knee of Colin Edwards scrapes the tarmac, just giving him a bit of a gauge as to exactly where he is in the grand scheme of things. 45, Edwards is third. Behind him, number 11, Troy Corsa. Corsa is the man that's doing the business. What a great shot.
Lovely.
Well, you've got to hand it to the cameraman today in Germany.
Yeah,
they are absolutely soaked. They are absolutely freezing. And they are still giving us real art.
And look at Keeley again, a fastest lap. Frankie putting fastest lap on fastest lap as we look along to see that Neil Hodgson is in an excellent 7th place. Ramini's making progress. Levia's down in 10th. Udo Mark is up to 12th, and James Whittam is now in front of Carl Fogarty.
Yeah, Fogarty's, disappointments, I would say, are complete today.
Yeah, no redemption as there was in Albacete.
It's going to cost him dear. You just can't, as he said in the interview, that you just can't take a day off. He's a professional motorbike racer at the very highest level. You cannot have a day off, and he seems to have today.
Look at those times.
I think he'd probably chosen a better venue for his holidays.
Yes, indeed.
It's honey mirror. Huge train. He's talking flower. Gumby. The spider in the mouth. Discoverland.
It's the best place in the whole wide world for 3 to 7-year-olds. Discoverland.
To celebrate the release of this year's biggest blockbuster, Godzilla,
we're giving away a rare and one-off Godzilla production design drawing, signed by producer-directors Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich. Your only chance to win this collector's drawing is during the Godzilla special on 10. Plus, there are 150 runner-up prizes, including the soundtrack thanks to Sony Music. Win a rare Godzilla design drawing by watching the Godzilla special on 10.
$3,600 worth of free extras, including air conditioning, cruise control, alloy wheels, and unique interior and exterior styling, the limited edition Magna Solara V6 is bound to turn a few heads.
Why pay more? At Votel, we're offering this brand new Nokia 3810 for just $49. And that's not all. We'll even throw in a bonus carry case and car charger. Stocks are limited and conditions apply, so rush into your nearest Votel store today.
It's a funny mirror. Huge train. Pink talking flower. Gumby. The spider in the mouth. Discoverland.
It's the best place in the whole wide world for 3 to 7-year-olds. Discoverland.
Corsa's bike 6 kph slower than the Hondas and 5 kph slower than this man, the leader, Frankie Keely's. That speed trap down on the bottom straight.
Keely's bike, though, has been quick all year. Out of the Ducatis, Keely's bike has been the fastest. I mean, we know he's the official Virginio Ferrari man, along with Corsa, but it's been quicker than Corsa's bike by a long way.
When he was allegedly a privateer on the Gattalone bike, his bike was still the quickest thing out there.
Must be Pasta.
Got to be Pasta.
There he is, that's Troy Corsa. Corsa has caught Edwards and Slight. They are second and third. Keely leads. We're on lap 7 of the 21. There is Slight, there is Edwards, there is Corsa on bike 11, and there is another man. What is he doing out there? Excuse me.
Yeah, that's Lothar Kraus, who obviously should not be out in a World Championship race.
Either side of them they go. That's just not on, you know, like... I'm sorry, after a third distance, we should not be passing back markers. I still believe there should be a rule that if a back marker is going so slow during the race, he should be black flagged and taken out. Not controversial, I don't think, because I can think of a whole heap of riders that would back me on that. Oh, and there again. Slighty was sideways, asking for the power out of the right-hander. It just snapped sideways.
He's still got visions of that double, hasn't he? Carl Fogarty losing touch with James Whittam. There's a big gap in front of Andy Mecklau, so poor old Carl's going to circulate and pick up another measly 2 points.
Yeah, that'll be probably his worst scoring record, I should think, in 2 races that he's finished ever in World Superbikes. 4 points from... I've set Julian off now. That's done it here in the commentary box. The paperwork is flying around. We're looking at the battle for second place. It's Slight leading from 45, Edwards from 11, and that is Troy Corsa, but still leading this race. Pier Francesco Keely, everybody's favourite Italian.
Absolutely, he's got... Oh, dear me.
Well, another couple of back markers just to make it interesting for Pier Francesco. Well, at least it'll keep him awake. Blue flag being shown, it should be slung at them.
Yes, and Keely, well, look at that rain. Here's Simon Les, Colin Edwards, third place man. Second place in the first race behind the bloke in front of him, his teammate number 111, Aaron Slight. And I think, well, Aaron hasn't given up ideas of the double, has he? He can still see Frankie Keely, but you need a telescope soon, I think.
Here it is then, the battle for second. You're right, a telescope, not that it'll work. Here, of course, there's too much rain between him and the subject you'd be aiming it at. There's Keely. Here's a couple of back markers. I know people think that I'm quite harsh on back markers, but believe me, if you're out there riding in these kind of conditions, you've got a couple of guys wobbling around in front of you, looking more over their shoulder than in front of them. It is very, very difficult to make the pass when you come on them so quickly.
And it destroys the fast guys' rhythm and concentration. But you can't object to having to pass a couple of back markers once in a race.
No, absolutely, I agree.
You cannot object to that. As we look at the...
Virginio team.
Indeed, this is the Keely Corsa squad.
Stylishly turned out as ever, and there is one of our back markers. In fact, we just saw him a moment ago.
Yes, he's got a cleaning bill.
I'm sure that was 76.
Norman Mentz.
Actually, I would have said Lothar Kraus, I thought, but anyway.
Wrong colour, I feel.
Whatever way we go, he's out of this race.
Yeah.
So taking a look at it, there is another back marker in the way of Keeley.
That's Frederik Heidegger.
He was out in the first race. I think he was in the dirt, wasn't he, Heidegger?
I think he was, yes.
So 91 is Heidegger. He's gone. This is still the battle for second place. There's a slight. Well, it's not a battle, because I think Colin Edwards quite sensibly would settle to slide in behind Aaron Slight, providing, of course, he's not put under any pressure by the chasing Australian Troy Corser. And Corser, well,
yes.
Okay,
what's he up to?
Well, Corser, at the end of the day, is not going to worry too much. He's not going to worry to the point of chucking it down the road, because Corser is still going to go away from the Nürburgring in atrocious conditions, leading this World Championship. But, of course, he might just want to sneak up on Slight and Edwards, because they are climbing up the leaderboard in the championship standings.
Yeah, there's some big points differences between 4th and 2nd. So I think Troy will want to make an impression. Now then, what is the actual gap, we ask ourselves? There's another back marker coming into sight.
Dieter Guderian is about to be blown off the track. There is Keeley. There is a back marker. There's another one. And then come the boys. Might just catch them just right. Of course, another thing in these conditions is that the back markers have a habit of hogging the best line if you're not careful, and might just put one of the top guys on a line that's got a bit more water on it, or got a bit more rubber on it, or something along those lines, and you're in for all sorts of trouble then.
Well, that dice has actually got through that pair of back markers now without any serious problems, I think.
Yeah, actually, having said all I am about the back markers, they have managed to carve through them without there being a problem at this point. So really, it's only a technical problem rather than an actual one.
Yes, but we don't. The chance is there. The possibilities are well there for it to become an actual problem, and that in itself is a problem. Well, am I making sense?
I think so. Some would argue that back markers make it more interesting, and the top guys ought to have them just to earn their corn.
No, once in a race, I'm not going to argue with that. I don't think even Mick Doohan would argue with that.
Oh, I think he would.
He probably, all right. I found your superior knowledge.
Looking back down the track, having heard Mick whine so much about back markers in the past, we are still looking at them. Leading this race, though, is still Pier Francesco Keeley. In second place still is number 111. There he is, Aaron Slight. In third is 45, Colin Edwards. That's Slight's teammate. And in fourth place is Keeley's teammate. That's Troy Corser. Here's Keeley, race leader. Up and over the air. That is a great lead he's got there. So as he comes to complete yet another lap, he will be on lap 10 of the 21 by the time these guys come into view. The second place is not a battle. It's more, well, a concentration.
Yeah, there's a lot of thinking going on, isn't there, in that trio there, the two Hondas and Troy Corser. And when it comes to thinking, you always want to know what Troy Corser's thinking about during a race.
Well, actually, I've got to say that all three of them aren't too bad on that front, if you consider Aaron Slight's not far off the mark. And for a youngster, Colin Edwards, and he is a youngster compared with even Troy Corser.
Indeed.
He's pretty good tactically as well. Look at Corser, that's a fairly aggressive-looking stance, isn't it?
Yeah, and now
there's Neil Tuxworth checking out the monitors back in the Castrol Honda Britain camp. Gregorio Lavia and Alessandro Gramini on 39. So 35 is Gregorio Lavia, 39 is Alessandro Gramini, 5 is Neil Hodgson, being chased by Jamie Whittam. No, it's not, it's Peter Goddard. Peter Goddard is 6. So Goddard, I'll get them right in a minute.
Yes.
The Harris brothers tuned and worked on work Suzuki's of Goddard and Whittam. And one of them is up there.
Lavia and Gramini were having an all-Latin dust-up earlier in proceedings. Looks like Gregorio has got the better of that for 7th place. Don't forget he's good in the wet, Keith. 3rd at home in Albacete.
I've got to say Gramini's riding good as well.
Best we've seen in Superbike.
Yes, indeed. Well, he did a fair old bit out in the American Superbike series.
He won 2 races out there.
Well, yeah, but the standard, of course, isn't quite as sharp as it is here, although not that shabby.
Yeah, he had some good opposition to beat. He did have a fast by Ferracci Ducati under him when he won those 2 races, but it shows the X125 champ can get to grips with the big 4-strokes.
So, still, it's Pier Francesco Keeley that leads this race on bike number 7. Still, it's Aaron Slight in 2nd place. 3rd is still Colin Edwards, but hanging on in there, and no doubt looking for a way by it is Troy Corser in 4th. There is Gregorio Lavia in 7th place. Behind him, Alessandro Gramini in 8th place. Carl Fogarty, we can tell British fans, is still in 14th place. So Fogarty, I tell you what, Julian, he could get lapped in this race.
That would be really humiliating for a man of his standing. He's got, as Aaron now sets the fastest lap, a 10th faster than Keeley's mark a lap ago. Well, how long is it as well since Carl Fogarty was beaten comprehensively in both races by James Whitham, and in this case also by Neil Hodgson? This is not what Carl needs.
No, that's for certain, but you wouldn't wish bad on those other two because...
No, indeed, I'm not...
Obviously, Neil Hodgson has spent his time laying in the dirt in race 1 here. Jamie Whitham had a fair ride, but both of those guys have got to pick up their pace sometime this year. It was 98 in the last all day. That's Noriyuki Haga's mob, I think, in Yamaha.
Looks like
it's completely soaked through.
That's the Castrol Honda team.
It is indeed, you're right. That's Adrian Gorst back in.
Yeah, there's a
he
man...
always looks completely soaked through.
Yes, there's a man from head office there as well. 8.5, the lead's gone up. It was 8.1 last time around.
Carl Fogarty back in 14th, already a minute behind, and we're only halfway through this race. He could get lapped. 1 minute 53 is the time that Slidey just did. So that means that if they're covering this track in 1 minute 53-ish, there is still time for Carl Fogarty to be lapped in this race. That would be something, well, unprecedented as far as I can remember.
Well, yeah, talking of things that have never happened, I think that's been very near the top of the list.
He's not complaining about his bike. He's not complaining about his injury that he has from yesterday. Remember, Carl Fogarty had quite a big crash on Saturday, and he's had painkilling injections today. So Fogarty is not quite fit, and maybe that'll have something to do with undermining his confidence in these kind of conditions. But he's not prepared to say it. I'm only guessing at that.
It's interesting, he used to be, as a youngster on the 250s, an absolute demon in the wet. I quote him, he said, I used to laugh at the rest if it was raining. I then remember going back to one of the first races we televised in World Superbike at Brands Hatch in 1993, and he crashed the 888 Ducati on clearways on lap 1 of the first race in the wet. And he said after that to me that really undermined his wet weather confidence. What was, you know, regardless of his impregnable strength in the wet, was destroyed by that one crash.
Remarkable that it's still with him. Keeley then puts in the fastest lap of 1:54, so we are now sub-55s. There is second place man Slight, no chance of catching Keeley as far as I can see, and it looks like Colin Edwards, well, he might have settled for third as far as Slight is concerned, but I think that he's still got a battle on his hands with Troy Corser.
I think that's right, there's
Haga. Haga has gone through. In front of him should be Yanagawa still.
He did go through in front of him still, Keith.
So this race very spaced out. There is Akira Yanagawa. He goes through in what, 5th place? Yes, that's confirmed. Then it's Haga, then it's Lavia, then it's Gramini. We're looking at Haga on 41. The next man is a back marker. Then we look back to 35, Gregorio Lavia, who has now dispensed with Alessandro Gramini. That's why. He's dispensed with himself. Gramini limps off, leaves it to the marshals to pick it up. Quite right too. It's right on the racing line. That's why I wouldn't want to be stood there.
That's not very clever, that.
Well, I think he's lost that, you know, in a straight line when he's gassed it up. And he's running back. Or has he lost it on the brakes? Might have lost it on the brakes down the end of the straight. I can't quite pick up where that is, but there it is. Gregorio Lavia then unceremoniously dumped in the dirt. Sorry, Alessandro Gramini, yes. Nice pick up, Jules.
Troy. I think he was chasing Lavia, and Lavia's won that little intra-Latin battle as one with Troy Corser now. The question is, as we look at the...
Anthony Bass and, of course, wife of Carl Fogarty, not enjoying their day at all. A day at the races, certainly not a place to wear the hat. Oh, back marker handed. Yeah, don't do that, maybe jump. Through comes Aaron Slight. Still second place for him. Clear and easy second place now for Slidey. Slidey just concentrating, doing his day's work, working out his day. Colin Edwards will be on the podium in 3rd place, I'm sure. It looks like Troy Corser. Well, if he's got anything left in the locker, he's leaving it until much later.
Yeah, he keeps on getting up towards him and then backing off down.
Here's Keeley, race leader. Listen to that Ducati. Sounding beautiful. Superb as he shifts it up through the water. Keeley looks bulletproof as well as waterproof.
If they finish in that order, Keith, the championship would look something like this. Corser 157 points, Slight 151 points. And then Haga 144 alongside Keeley, Edwards 134 level with Fogarty.
So Foggy slipping down the order from second place in the championship, and at the start of the day was challenging, and now Fogarty is slipping back down the order both standing wise and of course in the race.
From what Carl told us, it's nothing to do with the motorbikes, as Carl said to us in his interviews. There's Keeley, and looking as smooth as anything. He's a smooth rider at the best of times, just the sort of style you want in the wet, Keith.
Yeah, I mean but they come no more experienced than this man. He's ridden just about everything, hasn't he? And he's been superb on everything. Oh, there's Gramini.
Nice hairdo. Throwing his roots out, I think.
It's ruined the cut of his jib, hasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it has, yeah.
So, Gramini, Alessandro Gramini, the ex-125 world champion, looking so very, very good today, chasing Gregorio Lavia.
And telling the Michelin man his tyres are rubbish. Well, probably not.
Possibly. If he wants another good set, that is.
That was meant to be a joke, sir. Mr. Michelin, sir.
OK, I'll keep my foot against the door.
Yeah, please. Large Frenchman will be in it with the tyre.
Here's Keeley. His Michelin's working perfectly. Likewise, it is Aaron Slight, also Michelin shod. Then it is the Michelin shod 45.
I think you've made it up to them, Keith. I think you've done it.
In perspective here. And the Michelin shod Troy Corsa in 4th place.
Yes. Now then, Frankie Keeley in the wet, you're right, you know. He's always been, I think I'm right in saying, his first ever rostrum in a 500 Grand Prix was on an HB-sponsored 500 triple. You remember them, don't you?
I do, actually, yeah.
Run by...
Triple,
run by Galina. And he got on the rostrum, I think, at Le Mans in the wet. I can't tell you the year offhand, but it was his first year riding 500s, I think. That's out the memory banks.
Triple?
Triple.
Oh, well, there you go. Julian obviously knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he rode a triple for at least a year before he rode a V4.
This baggy green cap is going to be owned by the next person that plays for Australia. You're not allowed to put it on your actual head. The Prime Minister's the same with his hat with a little propeller on top.
The Panel, 9:30 Wednesday on 10.
Sam and Sally Smith have a successful spare parts business, the result of hard work and long hours. Then they bought a Crown B Series lift truck for just $4,595. With its quick electric lift, it puts an end to time-consuming manhandling and makes easy work of stacking any size load. The Crown B Series, $4,595 or lease from $3.15 a day.
For picking it up and putting it down.
Only one oil has Ferrari in it.
Don't break the speed limit to go one-on-one with the girl of your dreams. Just pick up the phone and call her. She's hot, she's live and always ready for you. She will surprise you, delight you and have you coming back for more. Pick up the phone now for a totally live, stimulating one-on-one. 1-90-2210-850. Surrender to the best adult action. 1-90-2210-850. It's hot.
Taxis and fleets fit Ian Diffin's exclusive Maxxis 999 steel radial because of its high quality and proven 100,000 kilometre tread life. Now Ian Diffin offers you the same generous discounts taxi and fleet operators enjoy. Only $49 for small cars, including fitting, balancing and new tubeless valve. For family-size cars, only $69, including fitting, balancing and tubeless valve. $49 the lot for small cars, $69 the lot for family size. At Ian Diffin World of Tyres.
It is a truly unique Australian craft product. One which is handmade with passion, skill and creativity. That carries the craft mark symbol.
It's the best of the best.
She used the toothbrush.
Relive one of Jerry's favourites.
Is it safe to drink bleach if you dilute it?
As we celebrate comedy's finest.
If you can't kiss this girl, I'm afraid we're talking disorder.
Seinfeld Jerry's Pick, 7:30 Thursday on 10.
So then, Keeley's still the race leader. Slight still second, Edwards still third, fourth still Corsa. And they remain in station. No doubt thinking their way around this track. What have they got to sort out?
Very serious looking faces.
Yes. Well, you wouldn't argue with them, would you? Unless you wanted to...
I think that was the management, Keith, of the German Federation.
obviously enjoying their day.
Yes, probably some ex-sidecar racer I should have recognised. They were at 8 World Championships and didn't.
Look at Corsa. Corsa right with Colin Edwards now. Colin Edwards, if he wants to stay on that podium, then he has got to shrug off Troy Corsa, because Corsa is getting the drift, and I mean drift.
Yes, good word.
Of that Ducati.
And this is typical Troy Corsa, isn't it? You think, oh, he hasn't got it, he hasn't got it.
Oh, great shot.
Keely.
Here it is, lap 7. 7 laps to go then, plus 8. And the rest. Oh, yeah, indicate to the left, give the man a clue. So Keely obliges. He was going to go to the right to the bloke pointed at him. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Third place in dispute now. Corsa, well, that's about the only race we've got out the top boys, isn't it, really? Corsa going for third place.
Very true, and Keely Bunn, another ultra slow man, number 53. I'm sure we've lapped him twice, you know.
Well, never mind, they're not really interfering with things as they're all spread out. The worst would have been if we'd got the top runners all together, all trying to make passes at the same time. I think when there's just one-on-one past a back marker, it's not a problem.
I think you're right, certainly these boys. Oh, here we go. Edwards got a problem.
He has. It's called Troy Corsa.
It's on a Ducati. It's number 11. Oh, and Troy is running at it now, isn't he? He's all over him.
Yeah, and we've not got the problem we had in race 1, where there's a drying line, so you don't get off it. This particular part of the course, well, in fact, the entire course is completely soaked, so providing you don't get too far offline, it's probably not going to be a major problem through that river just there as they drop onto the brakes into this horseshoe right-hander. Really very, very tricky.
That's the river that caused the delay.
There, sideways from both of them. So, first of all, it was... What am I saying?
They're getting a bit excited here, aren't they?
Indeed, yeah. 45 Colin Edwards was sideways first, and then Troy Corsa came out in sympathy. 11th still for Whittam. Udo Mark is still 12th. Hodgson is still in 9th in front of Bontempi. That's a good ride from Hodgson to be in front of Bontempi in these conditions.
Foggy, 1 minute 20 seconds behind.
Aaron Slight being held up now. Now that is a hold up by a back marker for Slighty.
Definitely.
Still concentrating though. No one's going to take his concentration there.
Yeah, he didn't take time out to aim a finger, did he? So Aaron, as you say, has still got his mind on the job in hand. There's Frankie Keely going through, and really, Keith, look at who's behind Carl Fogarty, and it's
Lucio Petticini and Eagle German.
Yes. You think, oh dear.
Yeah, it couldn't get much worse, could it? It's almost, you can feel the man going round, feeling embarrassed. You can actually feel Carl Fogarty's tension as he goes around this track, just working out his day and getting, well, minimal points. I mean, what did he get? 3 points for 13?
That's right. He'll end up, by our arithmetic, joint 5th in the championship. 10 points behind Frankie Keely and more points behind Slight and Corsa. And indeed Hager.
A disaster for Carl Fogarty, but back at the front it is Pier Francesco Keely, proving what a Ducati can do in the conditions if you've got the frame of mind for it, I would suggest.
Absolutely, it would be Frankie's second win of the year.
Oh, look at that. No, I suspect there that those back markers held up Troy Corsa. Now, again, it is a guess, but there is a massive gap now between Colin Edwards, who didn't seem to have the pace to leave Troy Corsa anywhere around this track, but Corsa somehow has found himself now 2.5 seconds adrift or thereabouts of Colin Edwards in third place. That could be significant. If Edwards now can keep the pace on, he will remain third. It will be actually quite good for us, because we'll be able to get a stopwatch across Corsa and see if he can close that gap down on Colin Edwards again.
And when they were close together, it looks like Edwards was riding more raggedly or having to try harder than Troy Corsa.
Oh, I don't know. I think Corsa was out the saddle a couple of times as well.
Really? I spotted the Edwards once, not the Corsa once. I'll take your word for it. No, the back marker looking over his shoulder.
Well, I suppose it is good that he's looking over his shoulder. Of course, these guys all get paid for being around here, and for a privateer, earning their money is a very, very important fact of life.
Yes.
And to stay out, you may wonder why they're staying out getting absolutely soaking wet. The reason is, of course, is because they get paid. And if they're in a certain position at the end of this race, and it is a bit of a war of attrition, then they will get paid for being wherever they are in the race. So
you could pick up points for 14th or 15th.
I actually don't blame the back markers. I blame the rules for allowing a situation that bring the leading riders into any kind of jeopardy.
Yeah, if you're a poverty-stricken privateer and you can qualify...
Terrible sight there for Aaron Slight. He rear ends it out of the right-hander onto the start and finish straight. All his team will be watching him from pit lane as he picks the bike up, struggles to find grip to get his bike up. He's only a little bloke. in the mud. Can he start the bike? You're not supposed to have outside assistance, I don't believe, in any race at all, and he was getting some there. So
as long as the bloke doesn't push start him.
Absolutely. So Aaron Slight, look at this, comes into the right-hander, and then over the puddles just there. That's not what made it move. He's asking for the power about now. Starts to squeeze it on, and here it goes, whoosh. And that is how quick a great move there from Aaron Slight. I've got to say, that gets a 5.9, in fact a 6 for style, Aaron. Look at that. Absolutely incredible. Aaron Slight, well, he's one tough cookie. I only hope he can get that bike back on. Judging by the way the Hooters are going on the grandstand here, I would suggest Aaron Slight has restarted. We don't know for sure. Here's Fogarty. 5 laps to go. This is Carl Fogarty. Well, he will be... I don't know whether he's picked up a place. He was so far behind Slightly. Slightly might have been able to get it out of the dirt and restart it by the time Carl Fogarty got to the position where Slightly fell off.
Well, we've just seen...
Here's that position now.
We've just seen the timing, Keith, and Slight went over the line in 4th place.
Brilliant. I'm so pleased. I really am. I feel so sorry for Aaron Slight. Aaron Slight this year. There's Adrian Gorse. He used to work for Slight. He's now with Colin Edwards. The man to your right is Ian Richards. Ian Richard actually works for Slightly.
And there was Norris Farrow in the background, who used to work for Fred Merkel and now works for the Castrol Honda team.
And various others. A New Zealander there. So, Colin Edwards has inherited 2nd place from Aaron Slight. In 3rd place is Troy Causer, so he will get his podium after all. They all move up in the order. So, Aaron Slight, well, I've said it so many times this year, he is not destined to win this World Superbike Championship.
There he is, Keith, in front of Yanagawa.
Well, the question is how damaged is his bike? Because Akira Yanagawa is upon him, and we're going to find out now. This guy's tough. He's made of stern stuff, is Aaron Slight. It will affect him mentally, but he'll wait until after the race is finished before he starts to think about it. He's making running repairs there as he goes along. That clutch lever is damaged on the left-hand side of his bike. But as far as the main parts of his bike are concerned, it was a very slow corner that he fell down on. Well, I think basically now he's angry, isn't he?
Yeah, obvious with himself, I would suggest.
This is shades of Wayne Gardner going back to the Japanese Grand Prix some time ago. He fell off in the rain and then put on an absolute dazzling display all the way around the track to work his way through the field, put fastest lap down, and then fell off in the closing stages yet again.
Was that the year that Ralph Waldman fell off, got back on and still won in the 250s?
No idea.
Thanks, Keith. And listen, the crowd being warmed by this gutsy, tough display from the little New Zealand.
Well, they've not had much to warm their cockles this weekend, that's for certain. It's been absolutely soaking all the way around this track. They must be miserable and cold around here. But Aaron Slight, well, he gets my vote for man of the day.
Definitely.
CBR 900RR, a racing pedigree.
At Marlowe's, we're having our June stock take sale, and the 8-page catalogue packed with bargains is out now. This powerful rechargeable handheld spotlight is a low $35.95, and Marlowe's have a large range of quality metal wiper assemblies with blades from $7.95 each. And this Rain-X windscreen treatment, ideal for keeping your windscreen clear, is only $6.95. The Marlowe's June stock take catalogue is out now, so hurry into your local Marlowe store today.
If you feel there is something missing in your life, you're not coping well, feeling depressed or having relationship problems, then the Trish Edmond Counselling Service can help you. Trish Edmond offers warm, caring counselling in a safe environment with a professional who is trained to facilitate change in your life. Take charge of your own life. Establish and achieve your goals. Invest in your future happiness. Call Trish Edmond Counselling today on 9307 8054. You owe it to yourself.
Get in the mood with us. Do you want to fulfill all your fantasies? We're really versatile. Pick up the phone and call 1-900 10 20 40. It's hot and steamy in here, but don't worry, we'll be out in time to take your call. Ring 1-900 10 20 40. Call now.
We were asked to build a high-performance engine with an output of 150 horsepower. an ultralight motorcycle with a total weight of only 177 kilograms. This motorcycle has the smallest wheelbase in its class of only 1395 millimeters. So far advanced, it will take years for the competition to catch up. Years for the competition to catch up.
There's your race leader, Pier Francesco Chili. What a race it's been for him. Not a foot wrong.
And Keith, he's just lapped Igor German.
Yep, so he's right up towards Carl Fogarty next, and he will do it, I think, in 3 laps. He's on lap 18 of the 21. There is second place man, 45, Colin Edwards. Third place man, number 11, Troy Corser. His board will have already told you. He'll already seen Aaron Slight picking the bike up. So
grandstand view.
He'll know exactly where he is in the pecking order of things. Troy Corser, nice steady ride. He will go even further into the lead in this World Superbike Championship. Aaron Slight, who looked like he was in a position to start challenging.
Well, he would have been within 6 points of him if he'd stayed on and got that second place.
Not no more. Here comes race leader number 7 into another back marker. That is 19, who is Lucio Pedicini. He's the next up. The next man after Pedicini is Fogarty.
Yeah, in 14th place, 13th place, I mean.
So,
embarrassing.
Keeley could end up lapping a man who he admires, who he thinks a tremendous amount of, and who he has raced against for now something like 5 years in World Superbikes. There's Gregorio Lavia. Lavia at 35 is after 41 Haga.
I'm catching.
The man in between is a back marker. So Gregorio Lavia, nicely done, Gregorio. The man who was on his ear in race 1. Oh, that's a back marker, 48. We've seen him down before, I think.
That's Andy Mecklau, Keith.
It is Andy Mecklau. God.
He's a wet weather specialist, I would venture to suggest.
Just imagine the Austrian round of the Superbikes a couple of years ago. Mecklau was in with a chance of winning it. I thought it was somebody else completely.
No, all that and Robert Ulm getting beaten off having a 15-second lead in the Supersport. Not a good time for Austria either. But good day for Spain, though, because I think Gregorio Lavia has got Haga in his sights. Going to get him.
Well, he's caught him from a mile away. Gregorio Lavia, provided he doesn't make a mistake in race 2 as he did in race 1, he is definitely going to pick off Haga.
I think Lavia's problem was...
What did someone say about Dunlop tyres going off towards the end? And of course Haga is on Dunlop tyres. Perhaps that is the case.
And Lavia pulls alongside the Yamaha. Haga doesn't give it him, does he?
Well, didn't have much of a choice really, did he? Because Lavia was in front of him.
Yes. That angle fooled me there. But Lavia, revelation of the year. Front row qualifier regularly, been on the rostrum at home.
Yeah. Take another look at it. Gregorio Lavia then on 35 gets under 41 Noriyuki Haga. Haga, what a superb rider he has been all year long. There he is, Haga on the Yamaha. They said that YZF Yamaha could not win races.
It's won 3 this year.
Yeah, only won 1 last year, and guess who was riding it?
Noriyuki Haga, the final race of the year. Saved Yamaha's bacon and their face big time last year, because that was the first year for 34 years that Yamaha did not win a World Championship Grand Prix race in any class. Up pops Haga and wins the last round of the World Superbike Championship. Yamaha men keep their jobs.
Well, Yamaha should make him rich, because basically if they're not got to bring a new bike out, that's going to save them millions. Just put a Haga on one.
Yes.
There he is, second place, 45, Colin Edwards. Third place, 11, is Troy Corser. Well, Troy Corser, a very sensible and mature race. He's still, only 25 years old, Troy Corser.
That's right, and he's had a year off last year, effectively.
He did indeed. He went to the Grand Prix, of course, after World Superbikes, and then found himself in a difficult situation with the team. Basically blew him out halfway through the year. There is Aaron Slight. Aaron Slight, well... Has he dropped behind Akira? I think
no, Akira Yanagawa is behind him. It's the same distance. Aaron Slight has hopped back on that Honda. He's got up to the same speed. And Akira Yanagawa must have thought, hello.
I've got him.
But no, the Kiwi is still flying.
Lavia in front of Haga. Now we wait to see what happens, and bear in mind that these times come up the second they pass the start and finish line, so that gives you some idea of how far behind Goddard, who's just come up on our screen, is to this race leader, because he's about 2/3 further around the track.
1 minute 10, which is not World Superbike stuff, is it? Having gaps like this.
Keeley.
He's been superb. What a great ride from Frankie Keeley.
He's still right on it, though. I'd worry about that. He really looks like he's got the pace on there. Second place battle continues. Corser there is still in third.
Looks like he might settle for it, dare I say.
Yeah,
I don't like that about Troy ever, because he then...
he's not really close enough to do anything with it. I think he has settled for it. I think Troy Corser is one of those guys you perhaps could say has settled for it. He knows the situation regarding the championship, and all the main men in the championship that are threatening him are behind him.
Because Frankie's not a threat. Frankie's a threat when it comes to winning races, but not when it comes to the championship. I'm just thinking back to Monza when sort of Troy Corser popped that out from behind two blokes on the last lap, and suddenly, was on the leaderboard and he hadn't been all race.
Last lap time then. It is Pier Francesco Chili to the ecstatic whistles of the crowd as Slighty comes over the line. Chili well on his way then. No laps to go. We are about 2/3 of a lap before Chili. This is what he looked like as he came on to the start and finish straight for the penultimate time. Keeley with a bit of masking tape there flapping around. They'd have covered up the radiators to try and keep some heat in that bike. It's too cold for a Ducati.
Pete, you're right. He is on the case. He's trying.
Last lap, too far away. I'd be amazed if Colin Edwards made a mistake big enough for Corser to get on to the tail of Colin Edwards. So,
I withdraw that last statement then.
So we'll wait and see, but I doubt it. Here he is, Igor German, about to be overtaken by 45 Colin Edwards. Question is, has number 7 Keeley caught 2 Fogarty and therefore given Fogarty, well, a lap off?
Yes, Carl might actually like that at the moment.
Oh,
well done,
luck.
Colin.
Yeah, bad luck there for Troy Corser. Colin Edwards, well, it depends which way you look at it. Well done, Colin, bad luck, Troy. Of course, the back marker between them was just what he needed. There it is. It is the magnificent Pier Francesco Chili. He has not put a wheel wrong throughout this race. He has looked absolutely brilliant. We look back down the track to second place. It is close still, though. Colin Edwards on 45 still second. But a short distance to go now, providing the back marker doesn't get in the way, which it doesn't look like he's going to. Corser will not catch him. I'm holding my breath now. Here comes Keeley. Keeley to the line, round the right-hander. The entrance to pit lane doesn't interest Keeley. He is going to take the win, the second race win. As we look in, he pulls on the handlebars.
2 times.
To try 2 times.
Too cold.
Gets over the line, gets the checker flag. Keeley wins the second race here. He won't have to point the flag at Slight this time round, will he? Edwards gets second. Third is Troy Corser. And fourth, I'm sure, is still Aaron Slight.
Well, if you hear the cheer before we do, there you go.
Here it comes. Keeley gets the applause, but we think that is for Aaron Slight, who picked his bike up off the floor to take 4th place, I'm sure. Closing stages. Slidey comes over the line. Big wheelie from him. Yeah, celebrate. Akira Yanagawa finishes 5th on bike number 4. Aaron Slight. Well, take your hat off to him. Man of the meeting for me.
Definitely crowd's favourite. That is yes.
Well, he's got it all, really, hasn't he? Here comes Lavia. He's got it all, Aaron Slight. Fastest man in qualifying, won the first race, crashed, picked it up, finished 4th in the second race. Biggest wheelie of the day.
And gets the crowd's vote. Lavia comes home in a good solid 6th. Frankie Keeley has picked up an Italian flag, a small one. He ignores the one on a big stick. As you can see, Troy Corser. And here's Whittam and Hodgson close together. Whittam and Hodgson coming around. Hargo's come home in 7th. Goddard in 8th. There's Jim Whittam, there's Neil Hodgson, battle of the Brits. I think it's for 9th place, because Goddard's home, Bontempi's home in 9th. Whittam just beats his fellow countryman home. Neil Hodgson doesn't look best pleased about 11th place, as we see Colin Edwards and Frankie Keeley shaking hands. That is Pier Francesco Keeley's 8th career win in World Superbike. It is his 2nd win this year, and he's again set the fastest lap, as he did when winning in Spain in the wet. Troy Corser doesn't have the standard issue Australian flag there. That's and an Italian flag trying to give him a trickler because he rides a Ducati, I think. Give him a push. They're having a chat. He's going to get a souvenir photo. Yes, souvenir photo, nice one. Yeah, very good. Troy sitting there, wondering what's going on. I think he's got one of those Aussie flags, the green flags with a kangaroo on it, as far as I can see. Yep, good day being had by all. The best day, really, has been had by Troy Corser. This is a fascinating set of numbers. Troy Corser does indeed keep a 16-point lead in the championship. Keeley and Slight level 2nd on 144 points. Then Haga fourth on 143. Colin Edwards has leapt up to 138. And then it's Carl Fogarty. This is great stuff as we look further down the leaderboard. Well, if Carl Fogarty had a bad day, Scott Russell had an even worse one, I think we can say. Strange days racing as we see Frankie Keeley and Akira Yanagawa. Wherever you go in the world, wherever you see World Superbike Championship racing, you're always going to get a big cheer for Frankie Keeley. If a home man can't win, fans all over the world will settle for the thoroughly likeable man from Bologna winning. He is just he's everything a motorcycle racer should be, Frankie Keeley. I mean, being Italian and riding a big red motorbike helps. He's handsome, he speaks with a wonderful English with a wonderful accent, and he wins or he crashes. Today, he has won ahead of Colin Edwards and Troy Corser, 2 Ducatis and a Honda on the rostrum. Aaron Slight fell, remounted, only lost 2 places, came home 4th. What a hero. Akira Yanagawa couldn't take advantage in 5th. Lavia came through to 6th. Haga, Goddard, Bontempi and Whittam round out the top 10. Neil Hodgson 11th, Udo Mark, Carl Fogarty 13th. Again, the last man not to be lapped.
Oh, the drama continues, and only 5 rounds down. We have 8 still to go, perhaps even 7. We mentioned earlier the Indonesian round must have some cloud hanging over it. Of course, we'll keep you posted on that in our Network Motorsport program. Speaking of which, there's a lot more action to come. Let's take a look further ahead. The Kart World Series Round 8 from Detroit, Michigan. That's tomorrow, Monday, June 8. Don't forget to check your local guides, of course. Great sport continuing with, of course, the NBA Finals, Chicago versus Utah. It's all square after the Salt Lake City first 2 rounds. Now we go to the Windy City for games 3 and 4. There are your times, that's telecast times, and we hope you're enjoying that as it's one great series as it was last year. The 500cc World Motorcycle Championship continues with the 6th round from Jarama, Spain. Will that be a great battle between Checker and Creville or what? And of course, Mick Doohan still very much in the battle for his 5th World Championship. Amazing stuff. We hope you've enjoyed it. Lee Diffie will return. He's been swanning around at Le Mans, but he will be back for the next round of the Superbike. So we hope you'll enjoy his company then. We've enjoyed yours now. Bye for now.
The 1998 World Superbike Championships, proudly brought to you by the Total Control Honda CBR 900RR Fireblade.